Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. For the fifth time in 4 days, the Reds host the Cardinals at 12:40 in the series rubber match, following Wednesday's 5-4 win. Brady Singer starts for Cincinnati opposite St. Louis's Michael McGreevy. Then at 1:10, the Guardians greet the Giants after San Francisco evened the series with a 1-0 win Wednesday. Cleveland's Gavin Williams duels San Fran's Landon Roop. NBA on Wednesday, the Cavaliers acquired Peyton Watson from the Nuggets and Cam Whitmore from the Wizards in a 5-team trade. Watson will reportedly sign a 4-year, $88 million deal with Cleveland. As part of the deal, Cleveland also dealt Max Strus to the LA Clippers, a 2031 first-rounder to Denver, then Trey Mann and a 2027 second-rounder to Washington. This update sponsored by The Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling. Together to serve you better. Schedule today at thewaterworks.com. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
And here we go. Welcome back into another edition of Rothman and Ice. I'm Matty Ice, TLC in the house doing his thing on the board per usual. And to my right, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, Dylan Tyre. You know him. What's up, DT? Welcome back, baby.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back with you guys. I'm really excited for this show. We're going to talk a lot of football and a lot of fun, different topics that I'm excited to get into with you, but very excited to be back in this chair across from you.
Football definitely in the air, but hockey kind of around the corner as well. So lay out kind of what's up next for you in the Blue Jacket world and where people can follow you there, man.
Yeah, I can smell hockey. Zach Werenski was in the building the other day. Ryan Lomberg, new Blue Jackets free agent acquisition, was in the building last week. And I went down onto the arena level. So that's where the locker room is, that area, the press room. And there's a smell that hockey brings to those rubber floors, the equipment. I could smell it. And I hadn't smelt it all summer long. I was like, wait a second. Hockey's close. Yeah. So we've got a couple of weeks. Training camp is going to open the second-ish week of September, so sometime around the 16th, 17th is when the team is going to be back on the ice together. Then you've got the preseason later on that week, and then right when October hits, it's time to go for the regular season. So, yeah, follow me on socials at Dylan, DYLANTYRER, for the latest on the Blue Jackets.
There it is. TLC, what's up, my man? How you feeling today?
Dude, so I'm back here like 2 seconds ago in that commercial break leading into the show talking with Isaiah and Ryan Baker about what the weekends are going to look like here coming up. It's like football season is basically here because we're like, what are we going to do on Saturdays? What show are you on? What show am I on? And it's like, all right, well, who's going to be hosting Fan Sports Sundays? It's like, we don't really have to talk about it because we'll get answers in like 2 weeks because the season is here.
It's here. High school football this weekend.
Oh, yeah, dude. I saw Reflog putting out the high school betting lines.
Yeah.
Like I sent that to my buddies this morning. I'm like, we're at this point in the calendar.
Shout out to Reflog, man. He's always putting out some good content on social media. But, yeah, week 0 next week, Dylan. And then when we get to the following Monday, it's time to go. It's time to go.
I would, similar to you guys, like obviously college football's here and I'm really excited for that. And the NFL preseason's here. I've been tuned into that. Something special about high school football. And I know obviously high school football plays in the state of Ohio, but last night I was on TikTok and the Columbus Dispatch had put out their top 10 players in the Columbus area. So I was cross-referencing their list with the 24/7 recruiting rankings and things like that. Every year I like to do it. See who the best players in Columbus are. I live by Thomas Worthington High School, so I'm rooting for them this season. I'm also close to Watterson, who's always a power, but I like my public schools.
I like that, man, because a couple of kids that I coach at Ripple Baseball go to Thomas Worthington. So, I got a little love for them because I got love for my guys. Respect. Shout out to Johnny, Mikey, and the crew up there at Thomas Worthington. But, shout out to my pick North Panthers. If we're starting with high school football, shout out to my guys, Coach Hellerich. Hope you guys have a great season. Here's the lineup for today. 12:30, Joe DeLeon covers the NFL draft and college football for A to Z Sports. Bottom of this hour, 1:30, Jordan Dejani will talk all things NFL with him, covers the league over at CBS Sports. And then at 2:30, the former Buckeye Steel Chambers is going to join the party to talk about the Buckeyes, what he expects from the running backs, the defense, and all that as well. And so if you can't catch any of that, don't worry. You can always go back wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, we'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Week 2 of the preseason kicks off tonight. You'll get Texans, Raiders, and some other games if you're interested in that. But I'm interested in what's happening in Cincinnati right now, because it's the Bengals and your Bears getting after it in a joint practice. And I was thinking, like, maybe a little Super Bowl preview potentially. I think these are two teams that people are going to look at as, can they make the leap in the Bears case? And in the Bengals case, can they get back to where they were in 2021? So I think of all the joint practices I've seen going on, like Eagles-Patriots was cool to see that because of the A.J. Brown stuff. But these are really, really good teams right now in Cincinnati and Chicago on paper. So I'm sure those practices down there are fun to watch, man.
Yeah, it's an exciting thing to think about, for me as a Bears guy, and obviously lots of listeners out there being Bengals fans. Like, you have two actual contenders kind of going at it in training camp right now. And while the preseason might be a little bit of a yawn for some people, and even the preseason game that's going to happen between the Bengals and the Bears, I don't know what that's going to look like in terms of who's playing. But right now, it is happening. Yep. You're getting first-team offense versus first-team defense. Awesome litmus test for both of these teams. And I'm looking at Twitter right now. Paul Dehner Jr., who covers the Bengals for The Athletic, is tweeting out, kind of mixed results right now between the offenses and the defenses, et cetera. So you like to hear all that stuff.
It's not surprising, right? Like, usually defenses we hear are ahead of the offenses at this point in time. But two exciting quarterbacks, a whole bunch of playmakers down there. It'd be interesting to hear what we get out of camp. You mentioned Zach Taylor. I did see the tweet earlier that he is planning on sitting the starters on Saturday, no matter what happens in the joint practices. So there's a little bit of the latest there. One of the more interesting stories that's happened in the world of college football over the last few weeks is what the Akron Zips are doing when Robert Morris comes to town. And it's gained a lot of attention because they're giving a season ticket holder the opportunity to be the offensive coordinator of the game. That's how this thing is being labeled. And so now they put out their social media team the calls from the athletic director to the 9 finalists. And TLC's cooked up one of the calls from the AD, and let's take you inside of what's happening up there.
Hello, is this Tim?
This is Tim.
So I just got a quick question for you. How long have you been a season ticket holder for the Akron Zips?
This would be year one.
Year one of many?
Year one of many, possibly. Saw the promotion, saw everything going on. I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'm doing this.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, I have good news, my friend. You are one step closer to being the offensive coordinator of the game.
No way.
100% true.
Oh my goodness. I am shocked right now.
Yeah.
I'm honestly just stunned right now.
Yeah.
Need a minute to process this, but I am looking for this email, and I'm assuming all the information's there. Do I have to call you guys back? My heart is freaking out right now. This is incredible. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, but that's what it feels like to be the offensive coordinator.
Well, I'm ready. I hope you like the wishbone.
All right. So a couple things here.
I hope you like the wishbone.
Hope you like the wishbone. Okay. I like the genuine excitement from the guy. Mm-hmm. But we're at a point now to where this is starting to smell a little fishy, I think, for a lot of people. And the reason why is because when the three of us were getting ready for the show, we find out that, Barstool's Big Cat is a finalist in this. I think TLC was saying there's another influencer that's a finalist in this as well. And so my gut is telling me they're going to try to make this as big as possible.
Of course.
And it's going to be Big Cat as the honorary offensive coordinator of the game.
I don't think so. I think they're keeping these names in there for now. Like, they just got some more juice out of this by saying, Big Cat is one of the finalists. It's not to say he isn't necessarily deserving, because I think the guy bought like 30 season tickets for the Akron Zips to give himself an opportunity to do this. The way that I think this is going to happen is they've got their top 9 right now. They had a top 10, but I think somebody removed their name from consideration for whatever reason. So they've got their top 9. And of course, I think they want to announce a couple of big names in here to generate a little bit more buzz surrounding it. But I think when it comes down to it, they're going to let a normal, everyday person do it. Man. Hopefully somebody that has been a long-time Akron season ticket holder.
I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I was listening to another call. There's a guy on there that's been a season ticket holder for over 30 years. Like, that's the person that I would like to get in the mix. So I think I'm going to lean toward your side now. You want to make it as big as you can possibly get. And that's what they've been doing. I think their AD or their coach was on with McAfee after this blew up. So Akron usually doesn't get this type of attention. So while you're here, take advantage of all of it.
Oh, it is one of the greatest promotions I have ever seen. Like, it's the Akron Zips, for crying out loud, and now we've got people talking about Akron. I don't know how they're planning on covering this on TV, but you can bet, even if this game isn't on ESPN or a major network, there's going to be a picture-in-picture of the first drive for Akron happening somewhere. It's going to be a viral moment for this first game, so I cannot wait for that.
And even if there isn't a picture-in-picture, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to seek it out and find it.
Oh, 100%.
So for me, I just want to see what it's going to look like. What type of play would Dylan Tyre call up first? What are you dialing up first on the opening drive for the Akron Zips?
Well, there's kind of that equivalent of the Spider 2Y banana play that John Gruden used to talk about. That was a play. It was like kind of like a play action counter fake that I would always run in NCAA football coming up. And that crosser, I think it was maybe like the backside tight end, was always open at around 12 yards. So I'd probably go to that. Maybe the 4 verts. I used to do that all the time. The NCAA football, maybe 04, that Larry Fitzgerald was on the cover of as a Pitt Panther. I used to love running 4 verts against the Maine Black Bears in that game. So maybe just for old time's sake, do that.
Why are you picking on the Maine Black Bears?
You know what I used to do? I would be USC. I was USC with Reggie Bush, and I'd try and run for like 500 yards a game with Reggie Bush. So I would pat stat essentially by playing like prime USC against the Maine Black Bears.
He was unreal, man. Both in the game. I always say that he's a top 5 favorite college athlete for me. When Reggie Bush was out there at USC, he was just, it didn't seem real like the stuff that I was watching when he was just out there on Saturdays going bananas.
People forget about Lendale White too. Yeah. They had a Thunder and Lightning backfield. Lendale White might have been hurt for a bit or suspended for a bit, so it was all Reggie Bush. But then people were like, hey, Lendale White's coming back, so they did that for a year.
Nice combination. Speaking of Thunder and Lightning, is the Ohio State running back room going to be able to create that this season? You're going to hear from Isaiah West right after the break. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
I hope we like the wishbone.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
As summer starts winding down, it always seems to happen the same way. The backpacks are packed, the school forms are signed, and suddenly the calendar fills up faster than you ever expected. Between the last-minute appointments, school shopping, and getting everyone back into a routine, it's easy for those projects around the house to keep getting pushed to next weekend. Here's the good news. Your roof doesn't have to be one of them. At Newman Roofing, our team of value-driven professionals makes the process simple. You'll get honest answers, clear communication, and recommendations built around your home's needs. No sales pitches. Whether it's a new roof, siding, or gutters, we'll help you check it off your to-do list with the kind of white glove service that's earned the trust of families across Central Ohio for more than 30 years. So instead of worrying about your home, you can spend what's left of this summer making memories with the people who matter most. Newman Roofing, built around family. Ours protecting yours. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
It's your final splash of the season at Zoombezi Bay. It's the ultimate way to end your summer. Open weekends through Labor Day. Get your tickets at ZoombeziBay.com and end your summer at
Zoombezi Bay. Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details and A3126.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver. Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you the chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great food and drinks here or next door at Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who's got what it takes. Book your race today at outlawsimracing.com.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Another reason why Ohio is now ranked the #1 state for business by CNBC. This is what unstoppable feels like. We did it together, Ohio. Our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
For the afternoon, some breaks in the clouds, maybe an isolated shower or two that tries to pop up again. Highs in the upper 70s, but still watch out for leftover trouble spots from the heaviest stuff that fell earlier in the morning. Areas of fog possible early on Friday, mostly sunny otherwise with highs around 80. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Anthony used to ski in his jeans? Are you serious? No, he's not from New Jersey. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in. Dylan Tyre in the house today. I want to say this. Hopefully everybody out there, man, is doing all right, Dylan. We had so much rain. The flooding's tough. So if you're dealing with that, we're thinking about you, because I was driving around Grandview this morning coming in, and one of the streets was just completely shut down, and you could just see cars got stuck in the water, and it was just a tough scene, man. So we're at a point now where we just had way too much rain.
Yeah, luckily my neighborhood, we were able to avoid flooding like that. But, you know, you go back to last week when we had the high winds and everything, trees were down. You hate to see that. Power was out for days, and then to get bombarded again. I think the forecast at least looks a little bit better now going forward than it was supposed to. Like, I think we were supposed to get rain for the next few days, and it's looking like a little bit more sun, so hopefully things dry up quickly. But that was crazy. You know, we dodged some serious rain, I think, at least in the downtown area, into the suburbs yesterday afternoon. But you wake up in the middle of the night last night, and the roof is just getting pounded. You're like, here we go again.
Yeah, so hopefully everybody out there is okay if you're dealing with some flooding. We're thinking about you. You brought up Lindell White in our previous segment, because I mentioned, Reggie Bush and how I just think he's one of my favorite college football players of all time. And I'm glad you did, because during the break I wanted to go back and look at what he was cooking up. And in 2004, it was 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. Then he came back in 2005. It was 1,300 yards and 24 touchdowns. So that's one of the more lethal running back duos I think college football has ever seen.
People forget about that. And I think at that point, too, USC had a wide receiver by the name of Mike Williams, who was really good. And then something happened where I believe he had to be taken maybe in the supplemental draft of the NFL draft. I could be wrong there.
No, he was a first-round pick.
Okay.
So he kind of did the Maurice Clarett thing of where I forget which one went first. I think Clarett went first. But it was one of those things where once Clarett got cleared to go to the NFL, then Mike Williams did the same thing after his sophomore year. And so then they hired agents and did all that to go through the NFL process. And then it's like, no, you can't do that anymore. Yeah. And then once they hired agents, they were done. So they couldn't go back to college. So Mike Williams had to sit out a year, but even after sitting out, he was still a first-round pick.
Two of the most forgotten college football seasons ever. As a freshman, he had 81 catches for nearly 1,300 yards and 14 touchdowns, followed it up with 95 grabs, 1,300 yards, and 16 TDs.
So he was getting busy.
He was enormous, too. He was like 6'5", 240.
Yeah, he was. They were They were one of those teams, you know, in sports to where it feels like a rock star band that just travels around and is just so big time and so Hollywood. And with them, literally, it is Hollywood. Like, that was that team. Pete Carroll, Matt Leinart, just felt like anywhere and everywhere that they went, they were the biggest story in the world of sports at the time just because there was just so much focus. But more importantly, high-level play from them, just ballers everywhere.
I'm just looking at the numbers right now. Lendale White and Reggie Bush in 2005 combined for 3,000 yards and 40 touchdowns on the ground. Lendale White, 1,300 yards, 24 TDs. Reggie Bush, 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns to go, by the way, with nearly 40 catches and 500 yards through the air.
Special. Didn't they have a good linebacker, Ray Maualuga?
Brian Cushing, I think, was on those teams, too.
That would have been a couple years after. The guy who they had would have been Keith Rivers, played as a true freshman on that 05 USC team. And then eventually, shortly thereafter, Clay Matthews, Brian Cushing, Ray Maualuga. You know, talent.
Ray Maualuga was on the 2005 team. He had 37 tackles. Keith Rivers had 52 tackles. Frosty Rucker, if you remember that name, was on that team. He had
incredible name.
He had 6.5 sacks and 13 tackles for loss that year.
Keith Rivers was a first-round pick by the Bengals, I think.
Yeah. Cushing was on this team, too. Man, lots of good linebackers.
Yeah, they would have been like freshmen, though.
Yeah.
When USC's right, it's good for the sport. They're one of those brands, right? Like Texas now.
I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe that with the Knicks and basketball.
Well, when I say good for the sport, I just think the appeal of that brand for me with the history, when they're right, there's something to it that I think kind of adds more spice to the college football.
100%. College football is whole again when all those blue blood teams are good, especially at the same time.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. So you don't that doesn't hit the same for you?
No, it's because I think that you can say that about like any team in any sport, and I'm just like, who cares?
But you don't think like all the Knicks buzz on social media in the city of New York literally being aflame was not good for basketball?
I also don't think that Madison Square Garden is this unique arena.
Okay, now.
I mean, it literally is. It's like an arena in an office building.
It's the most famous arena in the world.
Okay, well, they got 2 championships in the past 50 years. It can't be that historic.
It's not only just the basketball. It's the other stuff that they have there. No, I'm with you, man. Like, even now where Miami is coming back, like, there's something to that for me that I like where Miami back in the mix.
100%.
So, we talked about running back tandems. Ohio State, I think that's in play this year when you look at the guys that they have. Isaiah West is a guy that's been talked about a lot this offseason. Here he is on the offseason he had trying to get off the mat and become a dude.
Coach Day says it all the time. Like, if you want to excel in this program, one of the best things that you can do is cling on to Coach Mick. And that's pretty much what I did. I just was working with him this entire offseason.
That's what's been talked about, Dylan, is that the body for him obviously is looking really, really good. He's a guy that's dealt with injuries in the past, coming off an offseason where he had shoulder surgery as well, along with Bo Jackson. But I'm looking at him along with Bo Jackson. You got Jacoby Jackson coming in as well as a vet. We'll see what he can bring to the table. But we saw last year with Isaiah West, right? In the limited sample size, some of the stuff that we all witnessed was this guy's got obviously talent to get it done. And I think with more opportunity, he's going to showcase that he can be a dude in this conference.
The Ohio State running backs room this year specifically, and I guess you can go back to last year, it's a really interesting thing because year over year it feels like Ohio State has that truly dynamic running back. Like you can go back to 2015, 2016, Ezekiel Elliott, 2014, 2015. After that, it was Mike Weber, who I thought was really good, but then kind of got usurped by J.K. Dobbins in a way, right? And then it was Travion Henderson next up after J.K. Dobbins, et cetera, et cetera. And there are more unknowns, maybe less hype in a way with these guys, meaning Bo Jackson and Isaiah West.
Yeah.
But it is Ohio State after all, and they're big-time recruits. I'm very excited to see kind of who pops this season and if there is that sort of next man up as the great Ohio State running back.
Here is Isaiah West on some of the injuries he dealt with even going back to high school.
As a competitor and as an athlete, like when you first hear that from a doctor, like the first thing you say is like, man, watch out, bro. Like I'm gonna still be me, but I can admit, especially now, like being through that and like being a full year postpartum, like I keep saying like I feel like me again. Like I actually like I feel like I have my full explosiveness back.
It's something I think about a lot when it comes to guys that are obviously elite at what they do, when they have to go through that journey, maybe not once, but a few times of really coming back from tough injuries. I think that's kind of the ultimate test for, for athletes, because you hear about the rehab process and how that can be grueling and how that can weigh on you. But now you can hear it. He sounds exciting. And you talked about some of the running backs in the past. I won't be surprised if what we see this season, maybe not exactly, but kind of mirrors what we saw in 2024 with Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, and just the workload for both. 194 carries for Quinshon that season, $144 for Travion. I like that approach, especially when you're talking about a program that a lot of people are expecting to be in the playoff and make a lot of noise in the playoff. You're talking about a bunch of games that you got to play. And so, well, yes, it's always kind of cool to see one guy absolutely go crazy and get a whole bunch of the work. I think it's actually smart to have a couple guys that can go out there and get busy for you.
I tend to agree with you. I am partial to the bell cow. Like, I love it. I love when a guy is the horse like that. And you being a Ravens fan, you know all about it with Derrick Henry because he is the bell cow in the National Football League. But I think in the modern game, especially in college football, where you're trying to keep guys healthy, and more than anything, you need to keep guys happy, I think, in the college game. Splitting the backfield, splitting the carries like this is not a bad thing. And I think it helps that you've seen it work at Ohio State. I referenced Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins earlier. I don't think it worked particularly well when Ohio State did that, but they did it with Henderson and Quinshon Judkins just a couple of years ago to national championship level success. So if you can replicate something like that and maybe create a little bit more explosivity out of the running back position for Ohio State this year, it's going to be really good.
I think you were in. Were you in when James Smith was on with Bishop and Friends? Were you and I in reacting to that interview? It was a great interview.
So, no.
It was a great interview that Bo and Reeser did and their crew. Awesome. They do an awesome job every day. But James Smith was great because he was telling a story about, his dad and how he's a Buckeye fan. And while he was playing at Alabama, his pops would wear a Buckeye hat at the games. And I'm always curious to hear about why guys have decided to come to Ohio State. Jacoby Jackson, a new addition from Florida, comes in as a senior. Here's his thought process on why he did pick the Scarlet and Gray.
To help this team win it and, just find my place at this school. When I got here, Coach Locke said that he just needed a back, to come in and help the team. And, I was willing to come in and help the team.
It's always good to have experience, right? Comes in, you go back, you look at where he was in 2024. He did have 7 rushing touchdowns. I was looking at some of his stuff and kind of some goal line situations it looks like he was in. He's a guy that's about 5'11", 220. And so maybe that can be a bit of his role as well, along with doing some other things before they get down to the red zone, is having a little bit of that heavier back, that muscle that can get you into the end zone down there. I think is always a good weapon to have, too, in your running back room.
Well, and I hate to bring up the past, but they did have that with C.J. Donaldson, right? It didn't work great for Ohio State when it came to that, but options are always terrific, aren't they?
No doubt, no doubt. Buckeye unit ranked 9th in the Big Ten a season ago in rushing yards per game. I have to imagine Coach Lachlan and Coach Day probably want that to be a little bit better. That way they can have good balance with what should be another explosive year through the air with Julian, Jeremiah, Ennis, and the crew. Coming up in 2 minutes, we're going to lock in on some of the top prospects that we're going to be talking about in next year's draft with Joe DeLeon. Where's he at with Julian Sand? You will find out in 2 minutes. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Hey, Bo Bishop here. From scratch-made dishes to craft cocktails built with their local spirits, High Bank is the perfect place for date night, game day, or getting together with friends. Whether you're sipping the best vodka in America or grabbing a meal, High Bank delivers every time. Learn more at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer. For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HindererMotorCompany.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
Get 0% financing for 60 months on new 2026 Tucsons and Santa Fe's. Plus, make no payment for 90 days. Columbus or Dublin or GLakesHyundai.com. With approved credit, not all will qualify. Ends 8/31.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
When you renovate a home, you're going into full-time junk production.
How so?
The first stage of renovation is demolition.
We make that junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
When they begin installing the upgrades, a second mountain appears.
Construction scraps and packaging rise into the sky.
We make that mountain disappear, too.
All you have to do is point.
We make room for possibilities.
We make room for possibilities.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty is a diehard Reds fan. I mean, where else is he going to go? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
I got my Yankee hat on right now. That's where I might go. Welcome back in. Rothman and Ice going to light up right now the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Bring on one of our favorites. He's Joe DeLeon, does an awesome job covering college football and the NFL draft over at A to Z Sports, and the most dominant long snapper in Rhode Island history. Joe DeLeon in the building. Welcome back, Joe. How you feeling, man?
Appreciate the introduction. For those who don't know, that Rhode Island's opening their season next week against Merrimack. So anyone's looking for some FCS action to watch when these college football games start up. But it's always excited to chop it up and talk ball with you guys.
Appreciate your time as always, man. We were, before we brought you on, talking about the Ohio State running back room and how that may look this season, but we really wanted to tap in with you on just the draft prospects, because this is supposed to be a year to where the quarterbacks are pretty loaded. And I know we were having similar conversations this time last year, but do you believe that this year's crop of what we could label, I guess, as potential first-round quarterbacks are more legit than last year?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think like the big difference for me from last year to this year is that there's more depth, and I think that there's a higher ceiling on a number of prospects. I recall last year it was a lot of discourse around Drew Aller, Cade Klubnik. There was guys like Lenore Sellers were getting a lot of pub, and then Fernando Mendoza was a little bit of a late riser during the summer that some people were pushing as like, hey, keep an eye out on what he does this upcoming year. But the rest of the class was like, they were guys with some tools, but they weren't good enough to really turn into first-round picks. Sawyer Robertson from Baylor is an example that comes to mind, whose season didn't go great, and it really limited his opportunity to get a shot in the NFL. But this year, we've got the top two guys, which there's a lot more confidence behind Arch Manning and Dante Moore. But outside of them, I could continuously just keep naming dudes. Like, I could probably spend the rest of this segment just naming guys that have an opportunity. And some of the ones that are notable that are included is C.J. Carr from Notre Dame, who the NFL really loves. He's Tracy, but needs some more experience. Jerry Mensah throws a beautiful deep ball, and he's going to be in a system that allows for him to put up a ton of yards. Jane Maava led the country in EPA for dropback last season, so his efficiency is something that's going to translate. Sellers is back in this class, and I bet even if he doesn't have like a huge improvement this year, he's still going to get a lot of love. Nico Iamaleava is a prospect that the NFL really likes, as well as Devon Williams. There's just Josh Hoover from Indiana is another guy that can get brought up. Drew Mestemaker from Oklahoma State. The list goes on, and there's maybe even potentially some guys that haven't really played, like Ty Simpson last year, that could randomly emerge.
Joe, you mentioned a lot of names right there, and you didn't mention the guy here in Columbus and Julian Sayin. I really like Dane Brugler's work, and I was reading his kind of breakdown of his quarterback rankings for next year's draft, and he had Julian Sayin as the 8th best underclassman quarterback. So why so far down the list for a guy like that, and you didn't bring up his name?
So I'm really intrigued by Sayin and watching him this year because of some of the offseason developments with him, and the big one has been he attacked the offseason, but more specifically, he shared he's like up to 215. I saw another number that indicated he was like 208. Last year, he was small. He was really small. I think he was listed at like 195, and there's no way that he was 195. He looked really, really thin. And I think that was a concern, especially for the fact that what his limitations are as a prospect. He's not a big physical quarterback with like a super strong arm. He's a smaller quarterback. And when you're smaller, like Kyler and like Bryce Young, you got to be super shifty in the pocket. You got to be able to make guys miss. You got to be elusive and be able to create with your legs. And Julian Sayin doesn't really have that athleticism. But what he does have, he's got tremendous accuracy. He's a quick trigger decision maker. He gets the ball out really quick. We saw those limitations come to fruition for how they impact him as a player against Miami and against Indiana. They sent a lot of heat. Those guys broke through, and those opposing teams broke through. And when they did, he didn't have the requisite athleticism, nor did he have the size to at least hang in the pocket, endure that contact, and survive, and to be able to get the ball out. I think him being up at 215 really catches my attention because it's kind of Drew Brees-esque, his build and his profile. And Drew Brees also was not really that highly coveted as a prospect when he came out. He wasn't a first-round pick. But what the two of them did really well, despite not being like the craziest athletes, is that their cerebral ability to always know where to put the ball and to be willing to hang and get hit while throwing, made them really impactful. So I think if saying, Bulk as this Bulk and he can play at a much bigger size, there's a real chance that he does emerge as a first-round pick.
Joe DeLeon covers the NFL draft and college football over at A to Z Sports, joining us here on Rothman and Ice. Let's talk about the wide receivers. And we're going to go out on a limb, Joe, and guess that Jeremiah Smith is your highest-rated wide receiver. After that, unpack maybe your top 3 wide receivers we should be looking out for as guys that are going to be big-time draft prospects. Yeah, the first guy that I really, really like behind Jeremiah Smith is actually Charlie Becker from Indiana. I think that Becker's physical profile, he's going to test tremendously well. I think some people might not really be aware of the fact that he's possibly going to run in the 4.3s, which is ridiculous for how tall he is. His ability to maintain concentration in contested situations is also really amazing to watch. And I think that is going to help his case for being picked in the first round as an X receiver in an offense. I also really like Cam Coleman, who has an opportunity to really show what he can do with a real quarterback throwing him the ball, getting a chance to really flex his contested catchability and his acrobatic catchability. And then after that, I really like Brian Oesco from Clemson. I think that he's a really smooth, gliding receiver. He's a guy that has some really nice transition ability out of his routes. He got banged up last year, so I think that he's not as on the radar as he could have been, from a season ago. But I really like Oesco. And the last guy I'll throw in there, Ryan Coleman-Williams has so much potential. But his tape last year was really frustrating because he kept just dropping the ball in critical moments. His concentration was really annoying. But I don't think it's absurd to say that Ryan Coleman-Williams moves like Jamar Chase. If he can improve his hands and not have those silly concentration drops, we know that he can have good hands. The acrobatic catch that he had against Georgia a couple of years ago, we all remember how crazy that play was. I think he could be a Jamar Chase type of a player in the NFL, but he's got to be more secure at catching the football.
Joe, some really interesting college football news. The 2022 class potentially being granted another year of eligibility, which means some guys that are signed right now in NFL camps could potentially come back and play college football. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and credit to my co-host Blake Ruffino on Ruffino and Joe Show, and also Matt Zenitz. They broke this story yesterday, and I had been talking to Blake about it for some time before it came out. And really surreal headline that this is even a possibility. And I'm legitimately very, very conflicted on what side to be on with this, because on one side, I think it's absurd and ridiculous that guys that are receiving pay from NFL teams are able to just backtrack and return to football. It really sucks. I think that it also has an unprecedented impact for, what it does to some of these rosters if some of these guys just end up showing up and knocking guys down in the depth charts of some of these teams. But at the same time, if I was in their shoes, I probably would do the same thing. You're not likely to make an NFL roster. You're not getting paid as much as you were a year ago when you were on a college team. And now suddenly all these other guys are able to play because they were just sitting around at home and weren't on NFL teams. They're able just to come back and return. Why can't they do the same thing just because they suited up and played in a couple of preseason games? I find it really hard for me to push back against them, because just because they had to play as freshmen, some of them were thrust into it. Not all of them earned the right to really truly start as freshmen. Sometimes you get just thrown in because somebody gets hurt and team desperately needs you, and you waste a year of eligibility when you could have used that year growing and developing. So it's really tricky. I'm curious to see who actually does end up locking in on some of these rosters because there's certainly going to be a lot of names trying to make that move.
Yeah, definitely a fascinating situation. Hey, as you know, we're a few weeks away from Ohio State and Texas getting after each other down there in Austin. Coming out of Texas's camp, you saw the news about Trevor Gooseby and, that bone bruise that he's dealing with. Don't know how long he's going to be out, but I know that's something that Matt Patricia and the defensive line room are well aware of right now. And so when you look at what he is as a player, and let's say he doesn't play in that game, how big of a deal would that be for Arch Manning and the Longhorns?
I think it's pretty significant considering we watched Arch in hell for most of last year. He's constantly getting hit. Felt like every single game is one of his worst games was against Florida. He was sacked a ridiculous amount of times, and they did everything possible to reshape this offensive line. Melvin Siani was coming in with could potentially be a really good key piece on this offensive line, and it sounds like he's making a lot of noise in camp as a really impactful blocker. So losing Gooseby, who had first-round potential, is massive, considering the directive this offseason and the belief that they had accomplished fixing it, that now the best guy, we're not talking about maybe one of the last guys in the unit, one of the best guys and best linemen in the country not being available is certainly going to hurt them. We're going to find out how good the depth is on this team.
Joe, so many intriguing rookie defenders in the National Football League this season. 3 of them happen to be Ohio State Buckeyes. You've got Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, and Caleb Downs. If I had to ask you right now, who do you think wins the Defensive Rookie of the Year out of those 3? I know there are a couple of other names in there, but out of those 3, who do you like and why?
Yeah, I feel like Downs probably wins it just from name recognition and the fact that he's suiting up for the Dallas Cowboys. That's really going to help him, even if I also think that this Cowboys defense is going to take a huge leap, and he's going to be so critical for the whole unit taking a step forward. He's like the final glue that they needed to get everything to stick together. But, man, I was blown away watching Arvell Reese against the Giants. I do some work covering the Giants for A to Z Sports, and just seeing the way that he was attacking and not even thinking, that stuff is awesome. When you've got a linebacker who's not hesitant and just says, I'm going to go, I'm going to take some of these dead off, I'm going to flow to the football, get to the line of scrimmage. I don't care what I think I see. I'm just going to flow to the ball and try to make a play. And there were a couple times where he was so fast and he was moving so quickly that he was beating Micah McFadden to the football, which is pretty crazy that he's that quick. So I would keep an eye on Reese, but it probably is going to be Downs.
It's awesome. It's good stuff, man. Make sure you guys go follow Joe on all his socials on Twitter at Joe DeLeon, A to Z Sports, and a lot more. As always, my man, we appreciate you, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Later.
Appreciate you. There he goes, Joe DeLeon from A to Z Sports. Coming up next, the Bills and the Browns. They've been getting after each other in joint practices. How's it been for Shedeur Sanders to be battling it out with Josh Allen, one of the league's best? You'll hear from him next. It's Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
At CEC Turf and Tractor, family means everything. That's why we're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations to the CEC family. We're honored to carry on the relationships Green & Sons has built in these communities for generations while expanding our ability to serve you with more parts, more inventory, and faster response times. As one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers, CEC Turf and Tractor is growing without losing sight of what matters most: hardworking people, trusted relationships, and hometown service. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today for all your Kubota needs.
Something big has just dropped at Hothead Burritos. Introducing barbecue pork carnitas. Juicy, mouth-watering pork carnitas. Our limited-time new citrus chipotle barbecue sauce. Savor the summer flavor. Hothead Burritos. Get up and get you some.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
At Wright Pat Credit Union, we are owned by our members, not shareholders. So our only bottom line is you.
What's the catch?
There isn't one. I mean, I guess you have to be a member.
Uh-huh. And what's that cost?
Oh, there's no monthly cost.
Oh, but there's a bunch of eligibility restrictions, right?
No. If you live here, you can bank here.
No catch. What is this?
It's banking done right. Right Pat Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey Central Ohio, Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and we buy houses for cash. If you've got a house you need to sell, this is your season. Inherited, behind on payments, just over it? Whatever brought you here, we can help. We buy as is, we cover all closing costs, and there are 0 commissions, period. Just a fair cash offer and you choose your closing date. People are making moves right now, and we make it simple to be one of them. One call is all it takes. We'll get you a fair cash offer, fast, no pressure, no obligation. Hundreds of your neighbors have already sold the easy way, and we've got 5-star reviews and BBB A+ rating to back it up. Leave the stress and mess to us. We're based right here in Columbus, and we're ready when you are. Call us at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, family-owned. Call 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355.
This year, I'm going back to school. At My Computer Career, I'll get the skills and certifications I need for a great career in months, not years. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take their free career evaluation today. It's never too late to go back to school.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Join our degenerate gambler Steve Biddle at Scotty Vegas every Sunday morning at 9 for On the Money.
Presented by Krieger Ford, your best bet for a new car or truck. Visit Krieger Ford on Morse Road today or go online at KriegerFord.com. The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Anthony finally hit a hole-in-one.
It's in the hole.
So now what? Just bask in the glory?
And that's how she wrote.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That you are. Welcome back in. I want to talk to you about the great folks at McDaniel GM Superstore. You've been hearing me talk about it for a while. AR's now on the squad, and we want you to join the team as well because we want you to end the summer with the great deals they have going on right now at McDaniel GM Superstore. They're going to treat you like family just like they did the both of us. We're both enjoying riding around in our vehicles from the McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, you can get a 2026 Silverado 1500, save up to $13,000 off MSRP or 0% APR for 60 months, or you can lease it for as low as $339 a month. Terms and restrictions apply. It's not a long drive. Get on up there to Marion, and you're going to love the experience. Take it from me. I promise you, they're not going to let you down at the McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. You know, we mentioned the joint practices with the Bears and the Bengals right now. Awesome footage coming out yesterday from New England and Philadelphia side of things. I did see this just moments ago. Last night, there was a clip going around of Sal Paolantonio interviewing A.J. Brown. And he asked him, like, you know, do I still got love for Philly? He says, yes. And then he sneaks in, have you talked to Jalen? And he said, no. But today we find out, and there's videos going around, Dylan, that those guys have hugged it out, and it seems like they're good. The dynamic is just very, very strange because these guys were really good friends. A.J. Brown crowned Jalen Hurts his daughter's godfather, and then it got to the point to where they weren't talking. But I guess everything's good down there in Foxborough right now, and those guys are back to being boys, I guess.
Yeah, didn't A.J. Brown get married this summer, or Jalen Hurts got married this summer, and one wasn't invited to the wedding, however that worked out? I don't know. A.J. Brown to me seems like a very interesting guy. Very hot, very cold, and that's why I'm eager to see how it works in New England. I would expect, like with A.J. Brown anywhere, the first year is probably very, very good, and then we'll go from there.
Listen, he is a Hall of Fame talent, but to your point, Probably feels like you get the year 2, year 3 of that experience. Maybe things are going to get a little dicey. Maybe the dude's reading a book on the sideline again. You never know.
And I know we love to talk fantasy football on this show, too. For me, A.J. Brown is an absolute no-touch in fantasy football because I hate guys like that where the talent is abundant and he's done it before, but you just can't rely on him.
See, I'm all in because I want that year 1 spike.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was kind of going down the rankings. I'm like, okay, am I going to buy into the year 1 hype that he's going to explode this year? He's also in kind of a weird situation where the Patriots went crazy last year. Yeah. Did they regress a little bit this year? Yeah. I don't know, but hey, guys like that, I think it's just no touch for me.
They're going to be an interesting squad to follow, right? Especially now with a tougher schedule that they're going to have to go up against, and then you got to deal with Josh Allen and the Bills. In the AFC East, the Browns have been dealing with Josh Allen and the Bills during these joint practices. Shedeur Sanders, you got a feel of what it looks like. He got to see up close and personal what it takes to be one of the best in the sport because that's what Josh Allen is right now. And here's Shedeur's take on seeing what Josh can do on a daily basis.
I met him a couple times in the past just through different deals and stuff off the field, and he always been cool, so I always respect him fully. He plays a great game, and his style of play, fits him perfectly. So, I like that about him.
His style of play is one of one because Josh Allen is just built in a lab type of quarterback, right, where he can just physically put his will on people, but more importantly, dealing, as we know, the dude's got a freaking howitzer from the pocket, man. And so I think that's good, right? You as a young quarterback, to see one of the best go about his business and all the details that probably it takes to be that great. Shedeur got to see it up close and personal.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I'm not sure Shedeur necessarily has the same toolkit as Josh Allen, obviously, right? Because Shedeur was a later round draft pick for a plethora of reasons. But to see a guy like that up close and personal, to see how he commands an offense and how he demands the respect of his team, how he's a leader, I think that's good for anybody, right?
No doubt. There was a video going around of Shedeur, and he hit up Jerry Jeudy for a nice dime. Like, it was a dime, man, on the sideline. And Dylan, what happened? It was another drop. Another drop from Jerry Jeudy. And he's been last year, Jeudy was second in the league in drops. He had 10 of them. On 106 targets, Jamison Williams was number 1 in the league with 12. And so Mark Schlereth, great Denver Bronco, whole bunch of winning at a high level in Super Bowls like that, he quote tweets the video and goes, his hands are made of feet. And so he's a guy, like the people out in Denver, there's no love out there for Jerry Jeudy out there, but TLC was going back and listening to some audio. TLC, was it 3 years ago when we talked to Stink? And I swear I asked him about Jerry Jeudy, and he gave us some type of spicy answer. We went back, and you went back and listened to the interviews,
but I didn't find any Jerry Jeudy commentary.
I swear he said something about that. But regardless, this is something to monitor, right? Obviously, because
I give you Steve Smith commentary.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. All right, here you go.
When I saw him, he's playing well. I wanted to say to him face to face, like, hey, I know I said some things in the past I probably shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to say to him. His response, I don't mess with you. And it was a curse word. And so I was like, all right. And then he repeated it. So I'll say it again. I'm sorry that I said you were a jag, just a guy who's an average wide receiver they use a first-round pick on that isn't doing anything. I hope today that you actually show up in a way that you haven't showed up in the last couple of years since they drafted you. So if you ever got a problem with Agent 89, I'm sorry for saying that you're an average wide receiver that they eventually will move on. And when teams call me and asking, should they trade for you, I will say no, don't trade for Jerry Jeudy because he's mentally unable to handle constructive criticism from people who watch specifically, can he be a wide receiver? He could be a wide receiver. He's a tier 3.
I mean, just unloaded the clip. And I remember watching that live.
Yeah.
That was on NFL Network, I believe. And then I think even during some of Steve Smith's hits that were on TV, obviously live, you could see Jeudy behind him, like doing crazy antics and all of this stuff. And so Mark Schlereth, Steve Smith, he's kind of got this reputation around the league where people don't really like, I guess, who he is. But for Browns fans, I know they've got to be frustrated because of the drops that just seem to haunt this guy all the time.
Well, the capital that you put into the guy, the pedigree, assuming that he's going to be your number 1 wide receiver coming in. But with that said, it should be interesting to see what sort of role he plays in that offense this year because I know the Browns are very high on both Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston. And that's one guy that I thought did flash in that game. As bad as the Browns looked in their first preseason game against the Bears, I thought Concepcion looked like a real weapon and that he could be a dude immediately for Cleveland.
I'm with you. I'm in on the weapons. I think Andrew Berry's cooking up some good stuff. Right now, my gut's telling me, Dylan, that I think Harold Fant is going to lead the team in targets this year. I don't think it's going to be a wide receiver.
I'm not – that's a kind of a – we were talking about fantasy football just a couple moments ago. Fannin is one of those guys that could be boom or bust in a way, and obviously he was great last season as a rookie. For me, I'm a little bit more unsure about Fannin, especially if it ends up being Deshaun Watson, which I expect it will be, just because I don't know what sort of chemistry they have having not played together before.
It's a good call. Good call. Hopefully Monken, I think, will have a lot of things drawn up for him because I think he's going to want to go back to some of the things he was able to do at Georgia with Brock Bowers and that crew. So I'm seeing the vision, similar vision to what you're seeing, that there could be some exciting things on the way with the young offensive core. Coming up, top of the hour, after an update, we're going to play the confidence scale game, scaling from 1 to 10. TLC's got some questions cooked up about the AFC North. So play the game with us after the break. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Do you think the Steelers will make the playoffs? Well, right now on Kalshi, they have a 41% chance, which means $100 will win you $234.22 if they clinch a playoff spot. Everyone's making prediction. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at the season's end? On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download Kalshi and use the promo code POWELL. That's POWELL to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. Kalshi, trade anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. See Kalshi.com/regulatory.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Common Man here. Right now, buy 4 windows, get 4 free in 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. Restrictions apply. Call 614-502-5220. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Maddie, I love mine, but not everybody needs a big truck.
True. That's why I love what McDaniel GM Superstore is doing with the 26 tracks. I bought mine there. Easiest experience I've ever had. Upfront pricing with no surprises at the counter.
And now you can lease the 26 tracks for as low as $185 a month.
Or if you'd rather own it, buy for as low as $315 a month.
Terms and conditions apply for qualified buyers. Get to McDaniel GM Superstore, north on 23 off Route 95 in Marion. Visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan, or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Welcome back to Yeah, That's a Pepper Thing. First up, we've got Harrison wrapping his Dr. Pepper in a tiny quilt so it feels at home. Oh, how tender. That's a pepper thing. And over to Becca, who's whispering affirmations to her can.
You're sweet. You're unique. You're the best thing I ever poured over ice.
She swears it makes it taste better. It's not a science thing, but it's a pepper thing. Why do they all do it? All for that sweet, delicious, truly one-of-a-kind taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a pepper thing.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver. Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you the chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great food and drinks here or next door at Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who's got what it takes. Book your race today at outlawsimracing.com.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Tyler Danberg with the series tied at 2. The Reds trail the Cardinals 1-0 after 1 in Cincinnati. St. Louis scored on a Jordan Walker RBI groundout. Coming up at 1:10, Guardians greet the Giants after San Francisco took Wednesday's game 1-0. College football, Utah is suing former tight ends coach Freddie Whittingham for breach of contract after he left to join his brother Kyle's staff at Michigan in the same role. Per the lawsuit, the school is seeking $300,000 for breach of contract and at least $1 million for damages. In the NFL, Bengals hosted the Bears for a joint practice today at 11:30, while the Browns welcome the Bills for a joint practice coming up at 1:30. Preseason tonight, Texans host the Raiders at 8, and the 49ers visit the Chargers at 10. This update brought to you by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, and trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
The most wonderful people in the history of Western civilization. Rothman Ice, 97.1 The Fan. It doesn't get any better than this.
You're right. Welcome back in. Hour number 2, Dylan Tyre rocking with us today. Hope you guys are having a nice start to your Thursday. Bottom of the hour. Jordan Dejani covers the NFL for CBS Sports. He's going to hop on, talk about what, he's buying into during preseason, some of these injuries going on. Man, a lot of offensive line injuries.
It sucks right now. Man. I mean, it's everybody. Defense, offense, skill position, line.
Yeah.
It is horrible.
The things that freak me out are, if I were a fan of some of these teams, would be the offensive line stuff, man. When that stuff starts to get stripped away, your season starts to look scarier and scarier.
I mean, the Chargers again. Tyler Biotish, their center. Before it was Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt.
Yeah, man.
Now your center, Tyler Biotish, who they just got from Washington. It's like, when is enough enough? Not that I'm like a Chargers lover or anything like that. Harbaugh, screw that. But
yeah.
It sucks if you're a Chargers fan.
I was excited to see that offense with Mike McDaniel now as the offensive coordinator. That's been I think one of the better hires of the entire offseason for me. I think that highly of what he can do with that offense. They did kind of cover themselves in the draft. They drafted 4 offensive linemen. They drafted, I believe it was Jake Slaughter from Florida in the second round. So we'll see, but I like that you brought that up because that's a tough one.
Let me ask you one thing then about that offense, because I'm not the largest Ladd McConkey guy in the world. Do you think he pops this year with Mike McDaniel?
I think he does. I think Mike McDaniel is going to try to get the ball out of Herbert's hands quick, even prior to this injury. I think kind of what we saw in Miami, those guys, McConkey's not Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I get that, but I think the ball's going to come out of his hands pretty quickly. I think McConkey's in for a good year. I don't think we'll ever look at him as a, top of the charts type of guy at the position, but I like that. I like where they're. I like their running backs a lot, though. Amari and Hampton and that crew. I think.
Yeah, I know people are very high on Hampton. I'm just kind of curious about the wide receiver situation for them because they've got Johnston who's got those drop issues, and McConkey's their guy. But like you, I don't view him as like a true number one. Kind of weird.
For sure. TLC's got a nice little game cooked up for us. The 1 to 10 confidence scale game. In TLC, we're starting in the AFC North, huh?
Yeah, we are. So I don't know if you want to do this like 1 to 10 or just general thoughts or whatever. So do whatever you want. I don't care. But here's what we'll do. We'll go one by one. We got one topic per team. We'll start with the Bengals. What is your confidence that the Bengals will have a top 5 defense in the NFL, not just the AFC?
Top 5?
Top 5?
I'm sorry, 15. I misread my own typing.
Top 5, I would have been zero. Top 5. Lead us off, Dylan. Where you at, man?
Scale of 1 to 10, why don't you give me a 6? Because I think there's a little bit of a level of belief in the Bengals defense. Cassius Howell, I'm reading, is flashing against the Bears' first-team offense today, so he could be kind of a sleeper at D-end for the Bengals. I know they've made some additions that they seem to like there, so I think I'm more optimistic than not that they could be in the upper half of the NFL in team defense.
They got to get Shamar Stewart back. He's got to get going ASAP, right?
Yeah.
They already had a bit of a setback with that lower extremity injury, and so we'll see how long he's going to be down. Doesn't sound like it's going to be too long, but he's got to get those reps sooner rather than later. I'm going to just split it right down the middle. I'm going to go with 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with a 5. I think Dexter Lawrence is going to have a massive impact on this unit, but I'm very curious, a guy like Boye Mafe, right, veteran D lineman that they brought in from Seattle, putting more on his plate. He was in rotation last year with the Seahawks. What type of level up is he in store for? Don't really know too much about those guys, and especially the second level of that defense. Some questions about linebackers. So it will be improved this year. I just don't know if it's going to be a massive leap. That may come next season with a couple new additions to the defense. And so it's going to be better. And I think if they have an average defense, I think that's all they need. I've been saying, Dylan, just JBA. Just be average.
Yeah, sky's the limit if they can be better than they were last year.
I'll go 5, TLC.
Well, the problem is that I think the Bengals, I'm actually kind of buying the Bengals this year, and I don't really want to, but.
What specifically is making you buy?
They hammered the defense in free agency.
Something's got to stick. Something's got to stick to the wall, right?
And I kind of like some of the moves that they made, so they can't be as bad as they've been. So I'm actually kind of buying them a little bit. Now, the variable that's always in play is Joe Burrow's health.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand when you start talking about a player and then you always tag it with when healthy, when healthy, when healthy. Well, then he's just not a healthy player. So we're kind of getting at that point with Joe Burrow. But when healthy, I'm actually kind of concerned about how good the Bengals could be this year. All right, here's a topic for you. What is your confidence level that the Browns will have a top 20 leader in passing yards this season?
Oh, man. You could tag this with another if healthy.
Top 20. So before we answer, let's go back to last year. I just want to pull this up real quick. Top of the charts was Matthew Stafford, led the league with 4,700. You get down into the territory, Dylan, of 18, 19, and 20. That was Daniel Jones, C.J. Stroud, and Geno Smith.
And that's what, right around 3,200 yards or so?
That was 3,025 for Geno, 3,041 for CJ, and 3,100 for Daniel Jones.
All right, I'm going to go a 3 because I don't think Deshaun Watson starts every game for the Browns this year. So I think that eliminates him from being able to throw for that many yards. And even if he did start every game this year, I don't envision a 4,000-yard season or anything like that.
I'm rolling with you on this. I like that you brought up the angle of games played. I don't know if either guy is going to get enough games to do that. And even if they do, I don't think Monken's going to want to come in and just be this high-flying aerial attack. I think he's going to lean into the new offensive line that they put together. We'll see how that pans out. He knows what he has in Quinshon. Dylan Sampson, I think, is going to pop for them as well. So I just don't think the volume's going to be there. So I'm going to go 4.
What is your confidence that Derrick Henry reaches 1,000 yards again this season?
10. I don't think I need an explanation. Just 10.
All right, so it was 1,500 last year. He's 32 years old. The last time he didn't have 1,000 yards was in 2021, but he only played in 8 games.
He had 937 in 8 games.
Insane.
That's what I mean. That's why it's a 10. Like, even if this guy misses 5 games this year, he's still going to go for a K.
They've invested in the offensive line. They did lose Tyler Linderbaum, which I think is a big deal.
It is.
Big deal. So we'll see if, Vange Wane can come in, the rookie from Penn State, and help him out. I mean, I just think with he and Lamar, too, that it just works well together, right? Their skill sets play off each other real well. I kind of, in a way, think he's like the LeBron of the NFL, where he's not fading away at all as he gets older. Like, if anything, he's maintaining his level of play, and in certain categories, maybe getting better. So I don't know how I can look at this any other way. If he's healthy for 13 games, 14 games, I think he can get this. So I'll go 10 with Dylan on this as well.
I've written off Derrick Henry more than once before and was wrong both times, so I'm not going to be doing that anymore in the future. All right, this is an interesting one. What is your confidence level that the Steelers make the playoffs?
For me, it's a 4 because, while that may sound like I'm writing off the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't think you can ever write off the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially because they're always stout defensively. With that said, I think 2 teams out of that division end up making the playoffs, and I think they're the Ravens and the Bengals. I have a lot more confidence in those 2 teams than I do the Browns or the Steelers. That's why I'm at a 4.
Like we were just talking about a couple minutes ago, nobody knows what's going to happen with injuries. That kind of opened the door for them a year ago. And look, they took advantage of it, right? Lamar goes down for a little bit, some other injuries around the conference, and they said, okay, here we are. And Baltimore had a chance in their building, right, to win the division and all that stuff. Then Tyler Loop happened, and I was crying. I was crying that night. Man, the Mike Tomlin factor is obviously removed from this. And when he was there, you knew they at least had a safe floor. With McCarthy, I got confidence in him. I don't think the floor is going to be much lower than that. I like what you said about the division. And then you look around the conference as well. Like, could the AFC West get a few teams in this thing? I think the AFC East is a 2-team race as far as playoff contenders go. And I think the South has 3 potential playoff teams in it as well. So I'm going to go with a 4 on this one. Pittsburgh getting in the postseason. It's not them. I think it's the division and the conference. And can the aging guys on defense still be consistent with what they do? Kind of the way TLC was thinking about Derrick Henry. That's how I'm looking at TJ Watt, Hayward, and that crew over there. But I think their offense is going to be better this year with Pittman and the Rico Dowdle in.
I mean, how do you feel about, the Steelers are your squad, so how do you feel about them?
I think a 4 is probably a fair take. You both said 4, and that's, if you just do percentages, that's about 40%. I think it is less than 50%. Mm-hmm. Look, man, we're like team purgatory. And so go figure, we're going to end up somewhere in the middle. We're going to steal some games that we shouldn't. We're going to lose some games that we shouldn't. And then it's like, just when you think that maybe we're showing signs of, good or bad. And that's the part that sucks about it. It's like, I'd rather have answers at this point. Even if they're not answers I like, I would take that over just being in the middle all the time because I'm bored. I
think that's a fair word to use. When you have the seasons that you guys have, it can get boring because you're going to have some fun weeks, but you know what the end of the road is always going to look like, and that's first round playoff appearance and maybe not more than that.
Well, 100%. And I think like the entire team is the embodiment of that statement almost because you have Mike McCarthy as the head coach, who is kind of like that middle ground type thing.
That's a boring hire.
You've got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, who now is a middle ground type thing. And I know we've got to go to a break here, but I want to ask you this. When Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets, there was a lot of hope where it was like, okay, maybe he can be MVP Aaron Rodgers again. And he obviously got hurt. And then he goes to Pittsburgh, and it's like, okay, maybe we'll get some vintage Aaron Rodgers performances. Does that hope still exist somewhere as a Steelers fan?
Tell us after the break, TLC, because I love that question. We'll get into it next. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman, and for the longest time, I figured the less I did, the less I'd hurt. Well, I figured wrong. Something always happens, and when it does, I've always gone to Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. They rank #1 in Ohio and top 5 in the nation for orthopedics. So whether you're struggling with ongoing pain or facing a sudden orthopedic injury, you can always schedule an appointment directly with their physicians. No referral required. Start with the specialists. Start at orthopedic1.com.
No one plans to get into an accident, But when it happens, we strive in making life easier for you. This is Justin Hinderer. The Hinderer Motor Company Collision Center is ICAR certified and certified by many manufacturers to provide the best quality repair available. All of our repairs come with a lifetime warranty. We have our own 24/7 towing service so you never have to wait. Plus, we offer on-site rental cars for every lifestyle. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Common Man here for my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. Summertime napping season is upon us. What's that mean? Well, that means for me, a little nap on the leather couch. I got the ceiling fan on, but if that AC's not working properly, that nap turns into crap. Am I right? You got to make sure that AC's in tip-top shape, and the only people to call are my friends at Care Heating and Cooling. The message on their homepage says, we care about your comfort, because they do. If you're not comfortable in your own home, they start to get itchy and scratchy. Here's what you need to know about my friends at Care. They've won the Lennox Centurion Award for 17 years in a row. Now, if you're not in the biz, you don't know what that is, but I'm going to tell you, it's given to the top 5% of Lennox dealers in the country each year. Their service techs are the best in the business, and there's not a problem they can't solve, except maybe the meaning of life. They had no answer when I asked them. But think about living without central AC. Mess you up. My friends at Care also have easy online scheduling. CareHeatingandCooling.com. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Recently, our company softball team lost a big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win. Like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app. Available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app. Free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
What defines Ohio? A place that dares to go first and never looks back. There's no slowing us down. At Jobs Ohio, our mission is clear. Strengthen job opportunities and empower Ohio's workforce. Another reason why Ohio is now ranked the #1 state for business by CNBC. This is what unstoppable feels like. We did it together, Ohio. Our time is now. See Ohio's momentum at jobsohio.com/Ohio's time.
The Reds are on the Fan's family of stations all season long. If you don't listen, Terry Francona will ride his scooter to your house and yell at you. Your home of the Reds. The Fan, the Fan 2, and the Fan 3. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
For the afternoon, some breaks in the clouds, maybe an isolated shower or two that tries to pop up again. Highs in the upper 70s, but still watch out for leftover trouble spots from the heaviest stuff that fell earlier in the morning. Areas of fog possible early on Friday, mostly sunny otherwise with highs around 80. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back in, bottom of the hour. Jordan Dejani covers the NFL for CBS. He'll join the party at 1:30. Real quick, because I know you had a question teed up for TLC. We'll get to that here in just a second. We've been monitoring some happenings down there in Cincinnati. Bears in the house for joint practices, and I'm been so curious about this defensive line and what impact they can make. Just a few of the things that I've seen so far. This coming from Jaron May, who covers the Bengals down there in Cincinnati. Bears go for a 4 and out. Dexter Lawrence with a pressure and a sack. And then I see this. closing out the joint practice in a big way is one Miles Murphy, who apparently had back-to-back sacks on Caleb Williams. Again, we don't know if it was a second-team offensive line or whatever, but the fact that the Bengals defensive line is making noise against what's supposed to be a contender, if you're a Bengal fan, I think that should make you feel pretty good right now.
Absolutely. That D-line is flashing. I told you before it was Cassius Howell that people were tweeting about and talking about, and now you got Miles Murphy. It's early, but you like to hear that.
It is early.
We talked about the Bengals a lot as a potential team to watch in the AFC on today's program, and I think they're supporting their cause down there right now.
And if you were Cassius Howell, Shamar Stewart, Miles Murphy, these guys, when you found out that Dexter Lawrence was coming to town, you had to be charged up about it because he's going to, garner so much attention in the middle of that defensive line. I think these guys are going to have their opportunities to do their thing in one-on-one. So, again, just a couple tweets. We've been monitoring just the happenings down there with it's supposed to be two really good teams in the NFL. Bengals D-line is at least making some noise today. You had a question for TLC. We're talking about the Steelers. We played a game on, the AFC North Edition 1 to 10 confidence scale. For the folks that missed the question, run it by our guy again and see where he's at.
Yeah, so we're talking about the confidence scale in the AFC North, and we were talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and neither Maddie or I really feel super confident in the Steelers making the playoffs, but because they are the Steelers and because they're relatively stable, it's still a possibility. And part of that is their quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. And there was so much hope with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets that he would be, the Packers' Aaron Rodgers. And even, year one going to Pittsburgh, maybe some of that is still in there for the former MVP quarterback. And, with TLC being a Steelers fan, I ask him, is there somewhere inside you where that hope that Aaron Rodgers can re-find that form, maybe 1 year or half a season, is that still there?
Yes and no. So Aaron Rodgers has terrible stats, but watching him play, I can feel the impact that he has on a game that goes beyond his limited athleticism. And I wasn't even that big on him going to the Jets because that final year in Green Bay, despite the fact that he was coming off back-to-back MVPs, that final year in Green Bay, he definitely took like a physical step back. Like he couldn't hit some of the trick shots that he was hitting. He was trying to throw fadeaways that were falling short. And so there was a physical difference with him in that final year in Green Bay where, if he was 31 and doing that, I'd be like, that's a weird year. But when you're upper 30s, pushing 40 doing that, I'm like, I got to question if age is hitting you. So then he goes to the Jets. 4 plays in, we've all seen the meme. He's running out with the American flag, and there's his season. So now he's basically 2 years removed from good football, and then he has a bad year with the Jets. So then he comes to the Steelers, and it's like, okay, what is he even doing? So the stats are not ever going to be what they once were, but I can tell you, watching him on the field, you can feel his impact in his decision-making. You can see him commanding the offense. Like he is visually a very intelligent quarterback, but the physical talent will never be what it was in Green Bay. But you can definitely see that his impact on the game goes beyond the box score in a way that it definitely elevates the Steelers' chances of winning, but he can't take over a game the way he did.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because I see it almost the exact same way as you do, where the brain is obviously still there and the processing is still there, and obviously the decades of experience is there for him, but there are physical limitations that make him a worse quarterback in ways, right? It feels like if they can make the offense and the weapons work around him, that's how they'll be good.
Here, if Aaron Rodgers had a really good offensive line, I might be able to say he can channel some form of his Green Bay self. But the Steelers don't have that, and he definitely does not have the athleticism that he had earlier in his career to kind of mitigate that and work around a bad offensive line. We were on our 4th string left tackle. I don't think Andrews Pete was even on the Steelers roster at the beginning of the year. We probably just picked him up from somewhere. And Broderick Jones was a problem, and he was the starter, and he was a problem. So being on your 4th string at a weak position anyway, not very good. So there's no way for Aaron Rodgers' physical abilities to channel what it was unless you surround him with a lot of talent to begin with, where he's put in such a position to succeed.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, but I mean, watching that playoff game last year against the Texans, it's like the Texans defense won that game in spite of CJ Stroud because they had such an advantage. And it's just watching that is like, man, you can see that once it reached playoff time, the Steelers were playing a team in a different league.
And I think it's, not to interrupt you, Maddie, but to your point, like I think we're talking so much about the arm talent, but you brought up the mobility of Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's the number one thing. Like, we forget prime Aaron Rodgers was like Mahomesian in a little bit of a way. The escapability was everything for him, and he doesn't have that anymore.
And he was just deadly thrown on the run, man.
Exactly.
To throw off any platform, any angle. The highlights of him when he was at the peak of his powers in Green Bay is just special, special stuff. I'll tell you what.
Let me ask you guys this. Are you guys believers that make the playoffs at all costs, no matter what, and just see what happens? Or are you guys like, if you're going to be if we can all see a first round exit coming from a mile away, then that's worthless?
If you're the Steelers?
Just in general.
Oh, I think always make the playoffs because you never know what could happen.
I do too.
I mean, look, last year the Panthers almost upset the Rams.
Yeah, they were in that game,
you know,
for sure.
Like I think they lost by 3 points or something like that.
I'd rather be at the dance.
Yeah, you got to be in. You got to
be at the dance than not.
But then when that first round exit happens, it's like, saw that coming from a mile away.
For sure. But you never know. Yeah, you never know.
After week 1, Steelers have a very, very interesting schedule. Like, it's Atlanta at home. We'll see. It'll probably be I think the Steelers will get it done there. But then it's at New England. And then it's a AFC North back-to-back little banger here. Home against Cincinnati, at Cleveland. They will play Cleveland twice before their Week 9 bye. And when they come right out of their Week 9 bye, they play Cincinnati. So they're going to get done with the Bengals and the Browns by mid-November. And then they'll finish off the AFC North stuff with the Baltimore Ravens in weeks 15 and 18, but they've got an opportunity to get off to a pretty decent start in the conference and the division.
Yeah, I think if they want to have any chance, they got to win both those games against the Browns and at least split with the Bengals. Like, that's a huge advantage, I think, playing the Browns twice early and then coming out of your bye into a Bengals game.
Because listen to this run after the bye. At Cincinnati, at Philly, home against Denver, home against Houston, at Jacksonville, home against Carolina. I'm sorry, home against Baltimore, and then home against Carolina after the bye.
That's tough. That is tough.
That's what happens when you win a division. This is what you get the next year. And so obviously with an aging quarterback, and for everybody, obviously, but more importantly for him, it just health's got to be on his side. And yeah, they protect for him. I think the arm talent's decent. It's just like you said, it's like the aging star basketball player that, you know, maybe on a Tuesday and a Saturday he can hit you with a, 25, 7 and 7 type of night. But then the games in between, you're looking at him, he's got 14 and 5. They can't cook it up all the time the way that they used to. We were talking coming out of the break about some of the chatter coming out of Cincinnati with the Bengals defensive line. I did see this quote from Bengals center Ted Karras. He said, on watching the Bears struggle against Dexter Lawrence, it was blanking great. It validated a lot of my insecurities. Because Ted's probably been getting his butt whooped a lot by Dexter Lawrence in practice because he's the guy that has to directly deal with him more times than not right there in the middle of that D-line. So that's got to be tough, and I'm sure that's making him better as a center. But he got the chill today and watched, like, okay, it's not just me. This dude's doing this to everybody.
And that's a very good Bears interior, too. You're talking about Joe Thuney having to deal with Lawrence. So Karras is warranted in saying that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so, yeah, the Bengals are obviously going to get a whole bunch of attention, and rightfully so. And the AFC North will, too, this year. But that's all the star power at quarterback with Joe, Aaron, and Lamar, and just the intrigue when it comes to the Browns. It is going to be interesting to see when the Steelers and the Browns officially find that young guy. Like, it's one of the hardest things to do. Because I think the Browns are one of the few teams in the NFL that has the offense that's kind of built already, but doesn't have the quarterback. Like, I think Atlanta is like that. Cleveland is like that. And so I am not in favor of build the team and then get the quarterback. I'm always, let's get the quarterback and figure it out after that, because this is kind of proving that you can have the weapons. Like, Atlanta has proven weapons, but they just have had nothing at quarterback of significance, and they've been up against it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how you spin it, right? Because if you're the Browns right now, I think this is a huge year for Cleveland to make sure that everything looks good around the future quarterback. And, who knows, maybe it somehow works out for Deshaun Watson where he finds his game again. But assuming they're going to take a quarterback high in the draft next year, you could say, okay, this quarterback is coming into a prime situation. Sure. I also can understand your viewpoint here in that you want to build an offense around a quarterback fit the weapons, fit the scheme to what that quarterback is good at, instead of trying to potentially fit, a round peg in a square hole.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, here's the trouble, too. You mentioned the Steelers and the Browns. The Browns are in a way better position because the Steelers' problem is, in order to be, and I was talking to Dylan about this before the show, the problem with the past 2 drafts not having a lot of first-round quarterbacks means that a lot of bad teams don't have their quarterback. So the Titans have Cam Ward. If the Titans are bad, they're going to stick with him. If the Raiders are bad, they're sticking with Fernando Mendoza. But a lot of other teams that are bad, Cardinals, Jets, Dolphins, those teams don't have young quarterbacks yet. So the top 5 is going to probably have 3 quarterbacks taken in it. So you can't just be 8th pick bad or 9th pick bad. You have to be really bad because a lot of those teams don't have young quarterbacks yet.
I don't think a guy like Baker Mayfield is going to get the free agency. But if he does, I think he would be pretty excited looking at some of the landing spots he could go to with the playmakers that would be there. I don't think Cleveland's going to be on the board for him at all. I just think that relationship, that bridge is burned. But Jets, Arizona,
Steelers.
I didn't even say Jets. You're right.
Atlanta, like those teams, if you can get the free agency, which I don't think he will because I think they're going to tag him, that could be some good stuff on the other side if you're Baker Mayfield. Coming up in 2 minutes, Jordan Dajani, who covers the NFL over at CBS Sports. He'll join the party right after the break. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Steve Air with USA Insulation. Let's do some quick math together. Your energy bill this summer, probably one of the highest you've ever paid. Now imagine that same bill all winter long. That's what you're going to be looking at if you don't fix your insulation. You can still get the best deal of the year. We foam your walls, we insulate your attic for free. That ends August 31st. You don't want to miss it. The insulation pays for itself in energy savings. Call before August 31st for your free attic insulation. 529-2440 or usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
On this episode of Science Stuff, we're examining the fastest things on the planet. Like the cheetah. It can reach a land speed of over... probably having an off day happens to everybody, but here is the American race car. People love the thrill of the... Okay. Next up is the Falcon. No, all right. Oh, Great Caesar's ghost, what was that? Why, I think we've found the fastest... Let's watch in slow motion.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex...
It's Apex Pros, the pros who knows. They're the fastest thing on the planet. When you have a problem with your plumbing, furnace, air conditioner, or electrical system, Apex Pros gets to you faster than apparently everything. Leaves are blown from trees. Paint is stripped from buildings. Mothers clutch their children's hands. Because when you have something broken in your plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, you don't want to wait.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. ApexPros.com.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay $0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details and A3126.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Fish again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let's get back to it. We're going to add Jordan Dajani to the show right now. Does an awesome job covering the NFL over at CBS Sports. Jordan, football's back, man. How you feeling? You been okay?
Football's back, baby. I'm more than okay, man. I'm sick about talking about the off season and all this kind of stuff. We actually have training camps. We have preseason games to dive into. It feels like it's officially back, and I'm glad to share the airwaves with you guys once again.
Yeah, man. It's always a good time talking to you about ball. Let's start here because the injuries are starting to pile up. That's the unfortunate part of all this, right? When you look at some of the injuries around the league, which is going to be the most impactful, if you will, injury for their team?
Oh, man, there's so many to talk about. We could talk about Jeremiah Love, his status for week 1 potentially in doubt due to a high ankle sprain. I think Ricky Pearsall for the 49ers being out is going to be important. Kobe Bryant out for the Chicago Bears out there in the secondary. That Bears defense has lost a lot of talent, by the way. That's something to keep an eye on. They're probably a regression candidate for sure. How about Jaden Higgins, the Houston Texans wide receiver? He was poised for a breakout season in year 2. He tore his ACL, so that's a big hit to C.J. Stroud's wide receiving core.
Jordan, what are we talking here when it comes to Chase Brown? We've discussed the Cincinnati Bengals a lot on the program today, but we haven't brought up Chase Brown. I love him for a big season this year for whatever reason. What are you hearing out of Cincinnati and the role that he could play?
Yeah, I haven't talked to any reporters in Cincinnati about his performance in camp, but I do think Chase Brown's an incredibly important player for this offense. We know that Joe Burrow's offense is headlined by Jamar Chase, a generational wide receiver, T. Higgins, the best wide receiver, too, in the game. But people forget that if you can't establish the run, it really messes up your offense, especially when it comes off of operating out of play action. I think Chase Brown is one of the more underrated running backs in the NFL, and I think he's going to play an important role for a Bengals team, which I'm buying all the stock into this offseason.
Okay, so let's stay there because we were reacting to some of the news coming out of the joint practice with the, I was going to say the Reds because the Reds are on TV. The other team in Cincinnati, the Bengals and the Bears. And it sounds like, Jordan, the defensive line's been making some noise. Miles Murphy looked like he had a few sacks to end the practice. Dexter Lawrence is just wrecking. It sounds like this Bears offensive line. So lean into that a little bit more in your confidence and why you think the Bengals are going to be back in the inner circle of contenders.
It's really funny. When they traded, what was it, the number 10 overall pick for Dexter Lawrence, I thought that was an incredibly high price to pay. And, you know, Dexter Lawrence over the past few years has been one of the premier interior defenders in the NFL, but last year was maybe his worst season in the NFL. And then you see pictures of him, and you're like, how is this out-of-shape guy one of these game wreckers? But sure enough, like, he puts the pads on, and all reports coming out of camp and with these joint practices, he's been an absolute menace on the interior. And he's not the only guy that Cincinnati's brought in. Boye Mafe, the free agent from the Seattle Seahawks, I thought was really underrated during this cycle. You got a new safety in Brian Cook, Jonathan Allen, the veteran defensive tackle as well. When it comes to Cincinnati, I just feel like it's kind of do or die for this team in Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor is the one head coach in the entire division returning for the 2026 season. And my hypothesis is, hey, if this defense can just be serviceable, you know, not bad, not historically bad, and with the backing of this Joe Burrow-led offense, I really do feel like this is the team to win the division. And we've seen when this Bengals get to the playoffs, they can make a run.
Jordan, let's talk about Ohio's other NFL team then. Obviously, so many unknowns at the quarterback position, the most important position for the Cleveland Browns, but it feels like their offense is very intriguing outside of that. What's your outlook in Cleveland this year?
It's really hard to talk about outside of the quarterback position, right? I mean, I love what Cleveland did in the draft with Casey Concepcion. Denzel Boston has been kind of an immediate impact player. He's already a starter on the depth chart. Harold Fannin Jr., the second-year tight end, is really exciting. I love Quinshon Judkins. I love Dylan Sampson at running back. But everything hinges on the play of the quarterback. And, man, I don't know if you guys watched that preseason game against the Chicago Bears. I pray for your mental sanity. You did not, because it was just an absolute disaster. Deshaun Watson, listen, he led 2 scoring drives in the first half, played the entire first half, of course. He wasn't a disaster, but he definitely wasn't good. Like, he didn't have any explosive plays going downfield. He was really slow getting the ball out, in my opinion. And while he did lead 2 scoring drives, you reached halftime of that game and said, okay, wow, Shedeur Sanders has an opportunity here to really create some momentum for himself. And he came out on that first drive and had 2 pass plays that were longer than Deshaun Watson had the entire first half, which was promising. That first drive ended with a turnover on downs at the 5-yard line. Then Shedeur goes 3 and out, I believe. And then he throws one of the worst interceptions you've ever seen. And then he's benched for Dylan Gabriel. So you can't leave preseason week 1 saying, wow, Shedeur Sanders made up some ground in this quarterback competition. You leave that preseason week 1 saying, man, I don't think that the future quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is on roster right now.
All right, before we move on, I sensed some excitement when you mentioned Dylan Sampson's name. Why are you high on Sampson, the Browns running back?
Well, I'm a little biased. I attended the University of Tennessee, which is part of it. I thought he was one of the more underrated running backs in college football, and I think he had some splash plays for sure during his rookie season. I'm not going to say he should get more touches than Quinshon Judkins, of course, but Dylan Sampson, if you watch, he had like a 40-yard gain in the preseason game on a third down check down. So he brings some explosion to that offense. He's definitely a really good RB2.
Jordan Dajani from CBS Sports joining us here on The Fan to talk everything happening around the National Football League. I think there's always going to be some intrigue up in Cleveland looking down to Jacksonville to see what Travis Hunter has going on since they made that trade with them, and Browns get Mason Graham, and obviously the Jags get Travis Hunter and some other stuff. What are your thoughts on their approach now with Travis Hunter? Because it sounds to me, Jordan, like we're not going to see much of him at wide receiver.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I don't know their approach. Like, there was reports coming out earlier this offseason saying Travis Hunter was going to be their starting cornerback and play primarily on that side of the ball. You look at the Jaguars' initial depth chart, and Travis Hunter is indeed listed as a starting cornerback, but he's also listed as a second-string wide receiver. So I don't think Jimmy James Gladstone is backing down from his dream of Travis Hunter being the gift of football. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go back to that press conference he had last year where he acted like Travis Hunter was going to be this generational player that challenges the boundaries of what we view the sport as. So we can't really back down from that. And that's why I actually think that Travis Hunter is going to play some kind of small role as a wide receiver. But then the question needs to be asked, is he going to have enough stamina to be a legitimate boundary starting cornerback and be sprinkled in on offense? And on top of that, coming off the injury, how good is he going to be as a starting cornerback? So there's definitely optimism for this kind of playmaker, but his usage and how much he's used on both sides of the ball is certainly something to keep an eye on.
Baltimore Ravens, third best odds to win the Super Bowl this year, tied with the Seattle Seahawks, the reigning champs. For whatever reason, it feels like we haven't heard a ton out of Baltimore during the preseason, even though they've got a new head coach. What's this team going to look like this year?
Yeah, I think that the Ravens, to me, are one of the biggest question marks because we know that they're going to be competitive. They have a two-time NFL MVP playing quarterback, and the defense definitely has some pieces, too. Looking at 2025, it felt like that season was completely defined by Lamar Jackson's hamstring injury because when he came back for, the final 9 games, he averaged only 20 rushing yards per contest, accounted for 12 touchdowns compared to 8 turnovers. He definitely wasn't the same kind of playmaker. Now, I still think he's an elite quarterback. He's in that big 5 of signal callers, as I would describe it. But you got a new offensive coordinator in Declan Doyle, so it's fair to speculate what this offensive attack is going to look like. If I had to guess, I'm kind of curious about the wide receiver usage. Are we going to see even more touches for Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman? And by the way, there's a really intriguing rookie there in Baltimore by the name of Jacoby Lane, who had a touchdown in the preseason opener, too. I think defensively, there's a lot more reason for optimism. Jesse Minter is one of the best defensive minds in the NFL as I see it. So we'll see. It's interesting. You brought up that their odds are like third shortest to win the Super Bowl. I don't view it that way. In fact, when the schedule came out, I think the Ravens were actually tied in having the highest preseason win total with the Los Angeles Rams. The Ravens residing in this very competitive division, which is arguably the most competitive top to bottom, I just don't view it that way. I think the Ravens are going to be super competitive, but I don't think I'm putting money on them to hoist the Lombardi when it's all said and done.
That's fair. Let's get you out of here on this one because 2 contenders right now in Baltimore and Buffalo are resetting with new head coaches. So when you look at the head coaches that are in place, Jesse Minter in Baltimore, you got Joe Brady in Buffalo. Which guy do you believe in more as far as getting things in order and having more structure and obviously the wins coming along with it?
This is a great question, and I have a great answer for it. It's the one that has familiarity with that head coach. Joe Brady and Josh Allen have a legitimate relationship, and I'm a big believer in Joe Brady because go back and look at some of the numbers that he put up when he was promoted to full-time offensive coordinator following the departure of, I think it was Ken Dorsey. He really opened up the ground game. He got the most out of Josh Allen, who ended up winning MVP. So Joe Brady, it wasn't the biggest, the hire that inspired the most optimism this offseason from a national perspective. But I do think a lot of people in Buffalo like what this guy brings as an offensive mind, considering his relationship with Josh Allen. So even though it's a new head coach and potentially some new wrinkles in a new system, the expectation for Buffalo has not changed. It is Super Bowl or bust.
If you're an NFL fan, go follow this man on Twitter right now at Jordan Dejani. Does an awesome job covering the league over at CBS Sports. As always, we appreciate your time, brother. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you. There you go, Jordan Dejani from CBS Sports. Coming up next, we got a starting quarterback in the NFL that's letting everybody know we're going to be the surprise team this year. Don't sleep on us. We'll let you hear from him next. It's Rothman Ice right here on The Fan.
The Buckeyes are #1, and you can hear all the games here on The Fan, which is also #1. Coincidence? I think not. Your home of champions, The Fan.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending, your original home of the no-cost loan. When it comes time to buy or refinance your home, there's 3 basic rules you need to know. Rule number 1, never ask your lender if they need to call your employer to make sure you still work there. Quitting the week of closing was not cool, Bob. Number 2, never call from jail and say you're going to be running a little late for closing. Again, not cool, Bob. And finally, the one thing Bob did right, never ever pay closing costs. What banks won't tell you is that paying closing costs creates an 8-year break-even, yet the average loan lasts only 4. It's similar to buying life insurance at age 108. The math simply doesn't math. At Miller Lending, we solved that problem 39 years ago. By waiving all the fees, we completely eliminated the break-even, so you will immediately realize savings. So why wait? Pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today. 877-9-NO-COST, or simply apply online at nocostmortgage.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up. Just what I needed. Real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetics 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Bring bold flavor to every cookout with Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Retirement from football hits everyone differently. For DeVere Posey and Dean Sanzenbacher, it means sitting around watching sports clips on the internet and arguing about them. Search for Didn't Catch That on YouTube and subscribe. The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by KDHVAC, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan. Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let me tell you about the great family AR and I have up in Marion, the McDaniel GM Superstore. Got my car from there, and I'm telling you what, it's been awesome. Great vehicle, great experience up there with them. And I want you guys to have the exact same experience. They've got great deals. Check out their website with 200 new vehicles on it right now as we speak. Mentioned earlier about the 26 Silverado 1500. They also have a 2026 Trax available for you. You can buy for as low as $315 a month or lease for as low as $185 a month. Terms and restrictions apply. It's not a long drive. I'm telling you, it's worth it to get on up there as well. You're going to love the team. You're going to love your new car, and you're going to love life after that. Rolling around your new vehicle from the McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. I got news for everybody. More McAfee's on the way, folks. more McAfee's on the way because this was announced today. Pat McAfee not only is going to be on Monday Night Countdown, but when you don't have the Eli and Peyton Manning bros cast going on, guess who's going to take that slot, Dylan?
Pat McAfee.
You guessed it right, sir. So you are going to have a Monday Night Football Pat McAfee alt cast. So he is going to be everywhere. Everywhere.
My only question, can they get Jason Kelsey on it too?
I mean, yeah, look, the dude's grinding, but my goodness, there are going to be some people that are like, this is Pat McAfee overkill, man.
I mean, ESPN is, for all intents and purposes, just the Pat McAfee network now, no?
I mean, his
face is on everything all day.
His face is on ESPN more now than I think it is than Stephen A. So I think you're right.
Here's the thing. It's like no disrespect to Pat McAfee because like you, I respect the grind because the guy has essentially made his media career out of just being an NFL punter when everybody was like a punter is retiring to get into media.
Correct.
Well, look who's laughing now because the guy makes $60 million a year. But at some point, like the guy is the entire network now.
And I'm not going to dunk on him for this because I think this is what happened. Hey, we're paying you $60 million a year. We're putting you to work.
I will dunk on him about the album, but that's
okay. I haven't heard it yet, so I can't body that. Just said you have. You gave it a spin?
No.
Okay.
Just
okay. It sounded like you listened to it.
The pure idea of it. I mean,
he asked us a question yesterday,
and it sounded like you were planning on listening to it. The way you said "yet,"
and I did not.
No.
I did not. He asked if it was arrogant. Do you view that as arrogant? Him releasing a country music album or whatever it is.
Anybody can do anything that you want. Like you or I could go make a country album. I think the premise of it all is arrogant in saying that he just has made up this thing that he's like the most hated guy in America. Well, as a matter of fact, when your job is to put out, right, you do that to yourself, but when your job is to put out opinions, he speaks opinions about sports 4 hours a day, now 7 days a week on ESPN. Yeah. Of course, some people are going to view you as polarizing, but I thought Awful Announcing had a great opinion piece that came out about it the other day and essentially saying that he has created this narrative that he is some polarizing figure, a hated figure in sports. He's really just a guy that talks about sports. I think for the most part, when you view the guy, people are like, okay, cool. And even at one point there, I think people liked Pat McAfee, and now it's just the overexposure in him kind of purveying this message that he's some hated guy or I'm some outlaw. I think that's added to it.
So he's just doing the Stephen A. Smith arc?
I think so, essentially, but it's like louder and more in your face.
Because I don't view him as some type of heel or in the media. Like, I just think it's what you use the word overexposure. I think that's what's going to get people to, I guess, turn on him's too strong. But you know what I'm trying to say. I think that will be the point to where we're seeing him Saturday, Monday night again, and it's just throughout the week he's going to be everywhere. But look, if you can get the bag the way he's getting the bag,
sure,
I'm not going to knock it at all. We got a starting quarterback in the NFL that's saying we're going to be the surprise team and maybe shock some people, and that's one Baker Mayfield.
I think we're going to shock a lot of people this year, and so I'm excited to just get on the road and do that.
Anything else? You're going to surprise people when you say you're going to shock?
Yeah, I mean, there's no embellishing. I think you can't avoid it. There's the TVs everywhere. I think everybody's
confident.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I am. Everybody's picking us probably to have a losing record, so we'll see.
I haven't heard any of that, but we know how athletes are. Have you seen that people think they're going to have a losing record this season?
If you had to guess who has the best odds to win the NFC South?
Oh, boy.
Tampa or Carolina?
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're the favorites to win the division. So, like, Baker does what Baker does. Like, I respect the hell out of the guy because he we're talking about Pat McAfee. Baker Mayfield can make an enemy out of anybody. Like, that guy is professional at manufacturing bulletin board material.
Yeah.
But, brother, you are the favorite to win the division. So, sure.
Where's New Orleans at?
New Orleans has the second best odds to win that division. I am so high on the Saints. Like, I think the Saints win that division and make noise this year.
Don't love the Jordan Tyson news. That to me is very concerning because he's got a track record of that, but that's kind of the hot team. TLC was in on Carolina last year. That was a good call by them.
Great call.
But I think Tampa Bay, I think they're going to be right there. right there at 500-ish record, right above that. I don't think any team coming out of the South has a deep playoff run / Super Bowl type of ceiling this year.
Well, pre-Baker Mayfield shoulder last year, they were one of the best teams in the NFL. Remember all the crazy comeback wins and how good Baker was, but then just something wasn't right, and he kept playing, and they kind of faded down the stretch. But on top of that, they've got the same head coach this year, Todd Bowles, who that is a head coach you cannot put your trust in. Like, it felt like he had lost the locker room last year, but they brought the guy back. So for me, I think it's largely the same team minus Mike Evans, which is probably a pretty big loss. Of course, they just got Vita Vea locked up, which is good. But because they've still got that head coach, for me, it's like 500, maybe a game or two over 500, but I like the Saints.
You know what's tough, too, is I believe that Liam Cohen was the OC there for a little bit. Now he's in Jacksonville.
Well, he created an op-out of Liam Cohen last year.
That he did as well. And so, you mentioned the injuries. It was Baker. It was Mike Evans. It was Emeka. And so, Emeka, I think, is in store for a very, very good year. It's going to be interesting to see if another former Ohio State wide receiver can make the massive leap the way JSN did when they cleared the runway for him, right? Because that's what happened in Seattle. I think Emeka has that in play. But, Carolina dealing with a whole bunch of injuries already. New Orleans dealing with some tough injuries already. Atlanta dealing with some tough injuries already. And so, Tampa Bay, you mentioned Vita Vea. He got that, a year and extension, $30 million on that.
That's a bag.
That's a huge bag for an interior defensive lineman. He's a monster, too. Kind of cut from a similar cloth like Dexter Lawrence. Just that monster physical presence in the middle of your D-line. I love having those guys that can create some static right in front of the quarterback's face. Coming up top of the hour after an update, we played the confidence game from 1 to 10, scaling from 1 to 10 at 1 o'clock with the AFC North earlier. Coming up next, we got Dylan Tyre in the house. He's a big Bears fan, and the NFC North, that division is supposed to be popping this season. So we're going to play the same game with the North next. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Reds fans, Ludacris is coming to Great American Ballpark on Friday, September 4th as a part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. Root on the Reds as they take on the Brewers and enjoy a live set from Ludacris after the game. Plus, you can upgrade your access to a pit field pass for an up-close view of Ludacris. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
Fall is a season of change, and Hinderer Motor Company is turning over a new leaf with big savings. This is Justin Hinderer. Right now, any one of our participating locations is paying up to $3,500 over Kelley Blue Book value. That's right. Drive in your current vehicle and leaf with one of ours today. Don't wait. The leaves are falling and so are the prices. At Hinderer Motor Company, we love what moves you.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, C-O-M-E-R cross.com.
Saving and everything for your next staining project when you shop at Menards.
decks. Finish your outdoor wood projects with Cabot Premium Exterior Stain. It provides excellent protection and durability, making it ideal for decks, siding, outdoor furniture, and more. Get $8 off per gallon of Cabot Premium Exterior Stain now through August 23rd and start staining your project today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Common Man and Bob Capace here. So, Bob, you got this ring builder thing on your website.
Yep, you pick the diamond, the setting, customize your own engagement ring before you even come in this store.
I actually tried it.
You did?
It was ridiculously easy.
See, if Common Man can build a perfect ring online,
anybody can, because I'm dumb.
Then book an appointment and we'll help make it exactly the way you designed it.
That's why I always tell people, I know a guy. You too can design your own engagement ring with the ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com. If I can do it, anyone can.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
I went from walking 7 miles a day to not even being able to walk to my bathroom without having extreme pain in my feet.
This is Suzanne, and this is her Good Feet story.
I couldn't find anything that would help, and I suffered for 10 years. I felt like I couldn't live the life I loved to live, destined to just sit on the couch, and I just didn't want to give up. I knew that there was something out there that was going to be the right thing for me, and going to the Good Feet store was it. And I worked with an associate who fitted me with arch supports.
For over 30 years, the Good Feet store has been helping improve the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time.
I love that I have my arch supports. I'm active again and doing the things I love. Walking 14,000 steps in a day is no problem for me anymore. I feel like I have my life back.
See how we can help you too at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway near the Polaris Mall or on Stringtown Road at Grove City.
Common Man here for Germain Hyundai, where right now $99 a month gets you your choice of a 2026 Hyundai Elantra or a 2026 Hyundai Kona, a brand new Hyundai for just $99 a month. And only at Germain, get free gas for 3 months. And with Germain's $1,000 price promise, no one will sell you a Hyundai for less. Find your $99 Hyundai today at GermainHyundai.com. With approved credit, Elantra $44.95 down, Kona $39.95 down, plus tax, title, first month's payment, 7,500 miles per year, ends 8/31.
Football season starts at Twin Peaks. Get your league together and host your fantasy football draft party at your local lodge. And commissioners, get a $50 Twin Peaks gift card. Cold drinks, made from scratch food, wall-to-wall TVs, and everything you need for draft day. Book your fantasy football party at your local Twin Peaks today.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon, I'm Tyler Danberg. The Beard is staying in Cleveland. Per ESPN, James Harden has agreed to a 3-year, $97 million contract with the Cavaliers. He's the fourth in league history to surpass $500 million in career earnings. Baseball, mid-5 from Cincinnati. Reds trail the Cardinals 4-0, while the Guardians lead the Giants 3-2 in the top of the fourth from Cleveland. College football, former Ohio State kicker Jaden Fielding has filed a lawsuit against the NCAA to transfer and use a 5th year per CBS Sports. Meanwhile, Utah is suing former tight ends coach Freddie Whittingham for breach of contract after he left to join his brother Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. NHL, Blue Jackets announced goaltender Elvis Merzlikins underwent successful shoulder surgery. No timetable for return has been set. This update brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union. Open a savings account for the youth in your life with just $5 at BMI Federal Credit Union, and they'll put $100 into a youth certificate. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com.
Hour number 3, welcome back to the party. Tyler Danberg on the update desk doing his thing. Bottom of the hour, former Buckeye Steel Chambers is going to join the show. Get his thoughts on the upcoming season and a lot more. Looking forward to that. You got a nice little trip coming up, man. We were talking about it during the break. I'm jealous.
Yeah, we're going to Japan for 2 weeks on Monday. So I'm very, very excited about that. Just more than anything to get the food going. Like I love Japanese food, so I'm really excited.
Are you when I go on vacation, I want an itinerary, or I'm going on vacation, I'm freestyling it, and wherever the wind takes me, I'm just going to have fun doing that?
So I think it depends on the location and the vibe. Like if you're going somewhere like when I was a kid, for example, we went to Hawaii a couple times, and my parents are really good about setting up things to do, but also having beach time and pool time. So I think that's nice when you have a kind of an itinerary. This is a place, we don't really know anything about. Like, we're going somewhere where we don't speak the language. We don't really fully know. Like Tokyo, for example, I think is like 5 times as large as New York City or something like that. So it's crazy, right? Yeah. So you try and give yourself an idea of like, okay, we'll go do this or go to this area this day. But I think mostly we would really like to just kind of explore and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like when I go somewhere, I would like to live like a local. So I think that's the goal, right? It's just kind of feel what life is like there.
For me, I only need 2 things on vacation when they're set in stone. I need to have a dinner set every night. I like to know, like, hey, I'm going to dinner at this time every night at a cool restaurant in that city or wherever I'm at. And then I need my hour nap. I need my hour nap. That's it. I need 1 hour, and then I'm back to partying and doing whatever we want. But I'm heavy on dinner reservations on vacation. Like when the homies and I have gone and done guys trips and all that, I like to plan all the dinners. Like I like putting that together. That's really all I need. Other than that, throughout the day, let's just wake up and figure it out.
Yep. We have a few things booked already that we're going to do. And then when we get there, it's kind of like, because apparently Japan is a big reservation culture. So you got to make your reservations for dinner. So I think it's kind of, we're walking around that day. We have lots of recommendations.
Okay.
But when you're walking around that day and you see that spot, you're like, that looks cool. Let's try that. Okay, let's make a reservation tonight.
I can't wait to get your thoughts on. Apparently, it's just so clean there. Like no trash everywhere. Like you're gonna get.
There's no garbage cans.
Yeah, I can't wait to see if obviously it's true, but I want to hear from your perspective.
That's your culture. Like no trash, clean.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's you love that.
Love that. Earlier, we played a game with TLC, and it was revolving around the AFC North, 1 to 10. Confidence scale, where are we at? He threw some questions at us. Another very interesting division, what should be, again, one of the better divisions in the league this year, in my opinion, is going to be the NFC North. So we got some questions cooked up now for that division. TLC, let's get to it, man.
All righty, let's start with, as I got to get my tabs organized here. Let's start with the Bears. The hot topic is, what is your confidence that Caleb Williams will get MVP votes this year?
I would say a 6 for that. The Bears have a really, really tough schedule, so if they're able to maneuver that and be a good team like people expect them to be, I 100% think he will be a large reason for that, which would in turn probably garner some MVP votes. So I like a step for him.
I think what you're going to need is obviously the numbers. That's obvious, right? But I think the Bears are going to be in a lot of... Actually, I can look. How many primetime games do you guys have?
I think the Bears have 7 primetime games this year.
That's a big deal for me, too. Playing well in those games in front of the world, I think that can sway people, that emotion when the world is watching. Yeah, I think he's going to have the rushing numbers to come along with it. I think that's a big deal, right? Is if you can put all those numbers together to go up against Josh Allen, Lamar, some of the guys that are usually in the mix there, I'm going to go to 7. I'm in.
Oh.
I'm in on this Bears offense. I'm in on this Bears team. I think this guy's definitely getting ready to make another leap. I liked last year the touchdown to interception ratio. I like that he got playoff experience, and I'm definitely in on Ben Johnson as a play caller. So I'm high on what Caleb Williams is going to be this year. I'm going 7.
Love that from you.
All right, Jahmyr Gibbs leads the NFL in total yards. What is your confidence level there?
9.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
9.
I thought this was the hottest take of all 8.
I think this is easy for me. I think we're in store for one of the all-time offensive seasons from an individual player.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to counter that and go with a 2 because I think they're going to rely on Jahmyr Gibbs way too much this year. I think the Lions... All right. I'm going to say it right now. I think the Lions are done. I think Dan Campbell gets fired after this season, and the Lions are done. I do not have confidence in the Lions. I don't think they did enough during the offseason to improve on what was a down year last year. I think in trading David Montgomery, they get rid of a huge safety net. I know they have Isaiah Pacheco, but I believe he's hurt right now. Plus, he has injury history. Speaking of injury, Jahmyr Gibbs has not had the major injury in his NFL career yet. I just think the workload, it's coming, and I do not see that happening.
Due for an injury.
Okay.
Here comes the fantasy football doctor.
I am concerned about their defense, the back end of that defense, too. I just love the weaponry they got there, and I think Gibbs is about to have, Remember the work Zeke was getting out of college in Dallas?
Yeah.
I think he's in store for that. Obviously, you have to stay healthy, but I just think both pass catching and running the rock, Gibbs is about to go nuts this
I don't know if he's built for that. Zeke was a horse. Gibbs is a little bit slighter of a guy.
I think this is what Kamara was doing too in New Orleans.
Okay.
I'm in on Gibbs. I love him as a player.
I do too. I think he's great. I think he's electric. I just don't know about putting everything on him
What
this
you're
year.
saying is when the Lions see them Bears, they're going to have some problems. That's what you really want to say.
That's not even what I want to say. I just am not. I think so many people are saying the Lions are a prime bounce back candidate. I obviously understand that. I think their window's opened and closed.
I think it's fair to question the team. For me, it's just Gibbs. My confidence in him. That's where I'm at.
To whom it may concern, Jahmyr Gibbs finished 5th last year. Can you name me the top 4?
Total yards?
Scrimmage yards. So
Scrimmage
rushing
yards?
and receiving.
Bajan Robinson.
Number 1.
Christian McCaffrey.
Number 2.
How many did Derrick Henry run for last year?
1,500.
Derrick Henry?
He was 9th.
Oh, okay. JSN.
JSN was 7th.
No way.
So there's 2 strikes and you got 2 left.
Another mentioned Bijan is another running back.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Both are running backs.
James Cook.
Oh yeah,
4th.
James Cook.
Wow.
1 left, 1 strike.
What conference?
AFC.
AFC running back.
Oh my gosh, it's right there.
Devin Achane.
No, 6th. That
Damn.
was Jonathan Taylor.
Oh,
That's
Jonathan
right.
Taylor had
Monster
a big year last
from him.
year.
Hold on, let me look that up real quick and see what it was, because it was a quiet. He was, oh my gosh,
1,500.
1,500. 10 less yards than Derrick Henry. Finished 3rd in the league, Jonathan Taylor, last year.
Wait, how many yards did JSN have last year?
JSN had 1,700.
And he wasn't top 5?
No, because apparently running backs get checkdowns too.
How many receiving yards did Jonathan Taylor have last year?
378.
Okay, so he just edged him. Okay.
Barely. And then what we got next? What is your confidence level in the Packers winning 10-plus games?
I'll go with a 7 for that. I'm looking at the Packers' schedule right now. It's kind of a 50-50 split where there's some real weakness to it, especially early in the season. It gets tougher late where they've got to play the Rams, the Bills, the Bears, the Texans, the Lions. But, I think if they split the NFC North at least, which the Packers typically do, and take care of the rest of the schedule, especially that easy start that I mentioned, they've got Minnesota week 1, Jets week 2, Falcons week 3, Bucks week 4 into their first game with the Bears. I think they hit 10 wins.
I'm going to 3.
Ooh.
I'm not seeing it right now.
Okay.
I'm not seeing it right now.
Prefers that, by the way.
I do. He and I have kind of flipped the Packers and the Lions here.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons not showing up to the party, maybe week 5, 6, 7, somewhere in their window. I don't love that. I also don't love sending Romeo Doubs out of the door and saying we're going to rely on Christian Watson week in and week out with his injury history.
I could agree with that.
When he's good, when he's healthy, he's special. But that's tough, man, getting him out there on the field. And so early on, it's at Minnesota, at the Jets, home against Atlanta, at Tampa. So the Jets game, they should be able to clean up. But, man, like if he's not back by that Detroit game, which follows the Dallas game, week 6 and 7, they're up against it. I'm going 3. I don't think they get the 10 wins. And I haven't even talked about the Vikings and the Lions and the other teams.
All right, I lied earlier. This one's the hottest take. What is your confidence level in Justin Jefferson leading the NFL in receiving yards?
So what this is really attached to is our confidence in Kyler Murray.
A 1.
Because last year, Justin Jefferson is not washed. That was a J.J. McCarthy problem. So Kyler, I have more confidence in him than I do J.J. McCarthy. But
that's a low bar.
Fair. To lead the league in receiving yards, he's capable, but I'm not believing it. So I'm going to go a 5 right now because Puka, some of these other really, really good wide receivers are attached to really good quarterbacks, and I just don't know if Kyler's going to be doing that.
It is an interesting thing to think about because Kyler has fed Trey McBride in the past, right? It's not like he is
That's true.
Not thrown to guys and fed guys.
But let me throw this in there. Arizona, I don't think had the setup Minnesota does, right? Hawkinson, Addison, that crew. I'd rather have the Vikings playmakers.
I will go with a 3 purely because it sounds like Kyler is having a difficult time picking up their offense right now, which is never a great sign. I think back to last year when he had Marvin Harrison Jr. and they just didn't have any chemistry for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is bad. People are already labeling him a bust. Give him a couple more years here. I don't think he is bad, but for whatever reason, they just didn't have that chemistry where Kyler wasn't throwing to, who was their number one receiver at that point. So, while I think Justin Jefferson is really good, and this is another guy that frustrates me because, to go back to fantasy football, I had him last year, and it was like, oh, he stinks now. He's still going to be good. I think Justin Jefferson has a bounce back year in many ways because I do not think Kyler is bad, but...
Yes, he is.
Okay. I don't think
he's bad either.
I don't think Jefferson puts up numbers to lead the league in receiving.
We got to come up with some sort of bet on this show where I can win some money, because the amount of times that I've heard people on this show talking about, like, all right, Kyler Murray, like optimistically, just because he's better than JJ McCarthy does not mean that he's good.
I wouldn't go that
and
far.
So does Kyler Murray.
I think Kyler Murray is not a winning quarterback. I think he's a quarterback that puts up numbers that put him in the top 15 of the NFL, and people that just look at stats think, okay, this guy's pretty good. I'm not saying that he is an actually good quarterback. I'm saying in terms of feeding his weapons, I think it works out. What do you think Justin Jefferson finishes with this year? Catches, yards, touchdowns.
I think he finishes with 3 different starting quarterbacks at least.
Wow. Really?
No way.
Carson Wentz is starting games this year.
No way, man.
Yes,
Kyler is healthy. He's playing all 17, and he's going to be good. He's going to be the ecosystem that he's in. He is going to be a top 15 quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell's one of the top play callers
top 15
in the
quarterbacks
game.
in the state of Minnesota.
We've seen Kevin O'Connell put together good offenses with way less talented quarterbacks than Kyler Murray. I'm in. Justin
Sam
Jefferson
Darnold is not less talented than Kyler Murray.
Yes, he is.
No,
physically.
he's not.
Yes, he is. His skill set.
Just because he can't run doesn't mean he's less talented.
So he's not talented. As talented as him, then. If you can't do what I do, you're not as talented as me. If I can go to something else in my bag.
Kyler Murray can't win a Super Bowl no matter who he plays for.
All right, let's cook up a bet, because Justin Jefferson last year had 1,000 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Carson Wentz is starting games this year.
No,
I think Jefferson finishes this year with 95 catches for 1,350 and 8 touchdowns.
We also can't act
That's a hell of a year.
We also can't
Not
act like
number one, though.
We
Not
also
number
can't
one.
act like Kyler didn't have good years in this league.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the guy's
before.
put up, that's what I'm saying, in that he's put up numbers before. It got weird at the end in Arizona, but the guy's put up numbers.
He did. So we'll see. Cook up a bet and let's get to it.
He wasn't even the best quarterback for the Cardinals last year.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not even kidding.
What this is
I'm not kidding.
He's a Carson Wentz guy. That's what, for whatever reason, he is.
Jesus.
And so he's getting after us about Kyler Murray, but he's defending him, Carson Wentz. Come on.
Get back to me when he throws for 4K. Let me
tell you this.
I bet you Sam Darnold did that.
I bet you'd rather have Kyler Murray than Aaron Rodgers right now in Pittsburgh.
I can't swear to that. In fact, I don't think I would. I really don't.
Okay. I don't believe that. I don't think you believe that either. We got to go to break. What do you got in pre-snap reads for us?
The Cavaliers are making lots of moves, including one that happened during the show, and that one's getting mixed reactions.
Apparently, deals are happening everywhere in the world of sports because a Power 4 team in the SEC just gave their head coach an extension. We'll get to all that in pre-snap reads with Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Recently, our company's softball team lost the big game by 1 run. Then Dale tried to console us with the quote, "Winning isn't everything." Dale's a loser. I play to win. Like early payout from Bet365. If my team goes up big, I get paid out instantly, even if they blow the lead later. Sound familiar, Dale? Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible. But Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
AR, between road trips and hauling gear, you ever think about a Suburban?
Absolutely. I could fit everybody and every animal in there. McDaniel GM Superstore. Got my truck there, and it was the easiest deal I've ever made.
No hidden fees?
None. And right now, the 26 Suburban is up to $10,000 off MSRP.
10 grand, that's money left in your pocket and the space you need.
Terms and conditions apply for qualified buyers. Head to McDaniel GM Superstore, north on 23 off Route 95 in Marion. McDanielGMSuperstore.com.
Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Sounds like you heard about our special sale right now, where qualifying installs are 40% off.
Yep, it's why we're now offering 2 windows for the price of 1.
Wait, what was that?
That was the disclaimer. I can make up all kinds of things as long as there's a disclaimer at the end.
I'm not sure that's right, Wilson.
Sure it is. Listen, I can bench press 100 pounds. No, I can't. That's a lie.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
Bring bold flavor to every cookout with Billiards Plus. Shop top-of-the-line grills and turn every cookout into a win. Then bring the fun inside with pool tables, shuffleboard, and more. Everything for the ultimate game room. Billiards Plus. Grills, games, and good times. Online or on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app. Available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app. Free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
The Ohio chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture, or ISA, encourages you to schedule your winter tree work during the summer. It's a smart choice because it often secures better Ohio ISA certified arborist contractors availability. In some cases, you can lock in off-season pricing or discounts. Plan ahead before winter storms hit and remove problematic trees on your property before they cause damage. You can find your highly qualified Ohio ISA certified arborist at trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
For the afternoon, some breaks in the clouds, maybe an isolated shower or two that tries to pop up again. Highs in the upper 70s, but still watch out for leftover trouble spots from the heaviest stuff that fell earlier in the morning. Areas of fog possible early on Friday, mostly sunny otherwise with highs around 80. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
Common man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Free Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, we talked a lot of NFL today. Interesting news coming out of Norman, Oklahoma, Dylan, because Pete Thamel just reported that Brent Venables and Oklahoma have agreed to a new 6-year contract that's going to add 2 years to his current deal, and that's going to run through the 2031 season. So now it looks like he is going to be making roughly $10.5 million per year. That's going to looks like, according to USA Today, I'm looking at the 6th highest paid coach in the sport. And so was with Dabo for a long time. Defensive coordinator when Dabo and Clemson were rolling. I think that he didn't get talked about enough, right? We talked a ton about, obviously, all the offensive firepower they had. Deshaun, Trevor Lawrence, Sammy Watkins. We know the drill, T. Higgins and the crew. But Venables in that defense was for real. And so now he goes over to Oklahoma, tries to get them in order. He looks like he's going to have his hands on what could be one of the better quarterbacks in John Mateer this year. I'm not really mad at this. I think he's got some good momentum down there in Norman after what happened last season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense just given kind of modern college football, right? There are a lot of good coaches at a lot of different programs, and the field is so much more open now. At least it feels like it's more open because of the expansion of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
So if you're a team like Oklahoma, I think the goal is obviously always to be in contention for a national title, but at the very least, you're a team that wants to be making the college football playoff. And I think he is a caliber coach that can get you there the way that he's still able to recruit. And obviously, it's a blue blood in college football at Oklahoma, so they should always be able to recruit that sort of talent and be there. But like you said, a season like this one, they have a real shot because they've got the quarterback in Mateer. So, while Venables is more of a defensive guy, I think it certainly makes sense in modern college football because you're almost at the point where, you're a school like this. Who else are we going to go out and get?
In their first 5 games, they play ranked opponents for now, based off the AP poll. So week 2, they'll come up to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan, and then they will get New Mexico the week after that. And what's going to follow is a game on the road against Georgia, and then they will play Texas. And so that's where they're going to have to, if they're going to be right there in the SEC championship game and all of that, they're going to have to do it early against Georgia and Texas, 2 teams people think a lot about. And so, yeah, I think Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, I think those teams have a real chance to be playoff teams this season. TLC mentioned going to break that the Cavs have been doing some business last night into today. Last night they traded for Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson, young guy, but he was a part of the Denver Nuggets in 2023 when they won the title. And so you get a wing to come in. You trade Max Strus. They got younger. And I think that's part of the thinking, right, Dylan, is we got Evan Mobley, Donovan, guys that are going to be around for a little minute now. You add a young guy who can guard some of the tougher wings in the East with the Sixers and the Knicks and all of that. Not mad at that move. And then we found out today that the beard is officially back. James Harden inked a new 3-year, $97 million contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So now the dust is settled on all the LeBron stuff. Clearly, that did not happen. They found a different way to, in their minds, put a contender together.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm not the biggest James Harden fan in the world, but the Cavs are trying to make it work there with him.
Yep.
I like the Peyton Watson deal because I think the entire offseason people are wondering, like, when are we going to get that 3-and-D guy? When are we going to get that wing that helps us match up better with some of these good teams in the East? Well, he did exactly that because Watson's known for being a good defender, and he shoots the 3 pretty well, 41.1% last year, a big improvement from the previous couple of seasons. So I like it for Cleveland.
23 years old, 6'8" wing. You mentioned the production and how that's been leveling up the last few years. Last 3 seasons, his points per game, field goal percentage, Dylan just mentioned the 3-point percentage, the free throw percentage, they have all gone up. Points per game last 3 years, 6 to 8 to 14. And so I like that. Harden's back. He doesn't have to handle the ball. You knock down some threes. You play good defense. He should fit in well with what they want to do. Going back to the NFL, the C.J. Stroud stuff, how are you feeling about what's happening in Houston with him? The Jaden Higgins injury is obviously brutal for them with a torn ACL. He's a guy now that Tank Dell's back. You don't know what that's going to be, right? Coming back from a rough injury. They're in a division that's not too tough.
It's bad.
On paper, right? We'll see if Jacksonville can do it again. Tennessee, we have no idea what that's going to be. And so all hope is not lost for him to get right back to the postseason. But do you believe that they're going to do so this year?
I think if C.J. Stroud can give them average quarterback play, that they're a Super Bowl contender. I mean, the recipe is there for Seattle last season. We were just arguing about Sam Darnold versus Kyler Murray. I think Sam Darnold gave you better than average quarterback play last year, but he had tremendous weapons helping things out as far as it went with JSN and Kenneth Walker in the backfield. I think Houston is a little bit different. They've got a new running back and David Montgomery, a good wide receiver, and Nico Collins, but that defense is just so elite.
It's filthy, isn't it?
It's a huge year for C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
I am not like the biggest C.J. Stroud believer. I think his rookie year, I don't want to say was an anomaly, but probably a ceiling-ish type thing for C.J. Stroud. For him, I think it all comes down to confidence, keeping him upright and keeping him healthy. And if they're able to do that and he's able to get his swagger back a little bit, I think Houston's going to be really dangerous.
I'm with you. They need the run game to pop few years ago, Joe Mixon goes down there.
That was the deal, right? His rookie year, Mixon was great.
Yeah, they need that. They need that balance. And so David Montgomery, talked about Gibbs earlier, he's now in a situation to where look, it's your show now.
Mm-hmm.
Your show now. And so the Houston Texans are tied with the New England Patriots and the Kansas City Chiefs at 17-1 to win the Super Bowl this season. Of the three, if you had to bet on one of them to get it done, would it be New England, Kansas City, or Houston?
That's a really good question. I would still probably pick Kansas City because I think the window is still open for them, and I think they're poised for a bounce back. But like I just said, it is so wide open that if they get the quality quarterback play from C.J. Stroud, I really think the Texans are a contender. Like, you think about that game they played the Patriots last year. If C.J. Stroud gives you anything in that game, they're walking to the Super Bowl.
That's it. I'm just trying to think in my brain if quickly power ranking all the units on these teams. So Kansas City, New England. Like, I think Houston would be number one, their defensive unit.
Of course.
But, man,
the quarterback play is the difference in both those other teams compared to the Texans right now.
And I want to go with New England, but the last image I have in my mind is just that offensive line being a joke in front of him. And so I'm going to go with New England, though. I think the defense under Braves is going to be good. I'm in on A.J. Brown. We talked earlier. Maybe it'll be 1 year, and then all the BS comes along with that. But I love the addition of Romeo Doubs, too, as their number 2. So of the three, I would go with New England.
Very fascinating.
Yeah, of the three, I'd go with New England. Coming up in 2 minutes, former Buckeye, Steel Chambers. He's going to join the show to talk about the upcoming season and a lot more. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Hey, it's Austin Ward. Listen to The Beat with Austin and Byrne, now powered by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Get the latest Buckeye news, insights, and unbeatable analysis every day. Don't miss a moment. Stream The Beat with Austin and Byrne, sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. That's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in 1 day. A Comer and Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer and Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer and Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
It's time for the Summer Sunset Sale at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, lease a new 26 Tucson SE for $149 per month for 36 months. $149 a month. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit, $49.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year ends 8/31.
Anybody can make a good pitch. Hey, friends, Beamer here. Awaken 180 had to prove it. Paige and her coaches stayed involved, kept me accountable, and helped me lose 75 pounds. Support during, support for life. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
That you are. Welcome back in. Been looking forward to this one. Former Buckeye, Steel Chambers, joining the party right now. Steel, welcome in, my man. How you living?
I'm living great, man. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Really appreciate your time. I got Dylan Tyre with me. All right, let's get right to it. When you look at the 2026 team, some of the things that you've seen, you've been hearing, what's piquing your interest about going into a new season with the Scarlet and Gray?
My biggest question mark, which isn't negative in any way, is just that defense. You got so many pieces you got to replace between Sonny Styles, Arvell, Reese, Caleb Downs. So I'm curious to see some of the younger guys step up in those situations, step up in those spots and perform well, especially with that Matt Patricia defense. I just want to know how exactly is he going to make that defense around the talent he has right now on that squad.
You talk about the young guys stepping up on the Buckeye defense. Are there particular names that excite you the most?
At the DB position, I've heard a lot about Devin Sanchez, people saying he's going to be a first-round kind of guy at the cornerback position, which I love hearing that if I'm a Buckeye fan. We've had a long line of that throughout the last 10 years or so glad to hear that. Jay Timmons, a freshman who apparently has just come on the scene the last couple of weeks, he's been doing really well. So I've been hearing mostly about the DBs, not as much from my linebackers, sadly, but I'm sure they're still doing fine there.
Let's talk about the LBs, because what's been interesting for me, Steele, is to hear about potentially the role Christian Allegro could play, right? Arvell last year, the ability to move him around, great weapon for Patricia to use. And so when you hear that and you look at that position, what do you think about what he's able to do, and how important do you think that is, that chess piece for Patricia to have within his defensive structure?
It's very important because you saw what Arvell was able to do last year. Maybe Allegro doesn't have the exact size and measurements that Reese has, but I mean, Matt Patricia, he knows how to get guys in spots where they're going to achieve very greatly. And I feel like Allegro, he's someone who can move on the ball, off the ball, rush the passer, just be an off-ball linebacker. He's kind of a do-it-all guy. So I'm really curious how they're going to use him in that defense.
All right, Steele, maybe a little bit of a weird question here, but we saw Ohio State open against Texas last year. And it was really vanilla, at least from the offense, right? It was really straightforward. They kept it simple for Julian Sayin. What do you think that game looks like this year in Sayin's second year in the offense?
Oh, they got to take off the governor, man. I know it was his first start. It was a big game against Texas, so naturally they kind of kept it easy. They relied on the run game a little more. They didn't have him take any shots downfield, but now you're in your second year. You've got chemistry with all your wide receivers. The run game's solid. Offensive line is going to be really good. So I feel like you should be taking shots. You should be blitzing Arch Manning. You just got to play really aggressive ball because you're playing in Austin. This isn't playing in the shoe. So you got to just kind of, excuse my French, go balls to the wall in this game.
Former Buckeye Steele Chambers joining us here on Rothman and Ice. Let's talk about maybe what you think they could have learned coming out of the Indiana and Miami game. And can that do some good for individual players in a team? Obviously, the result sucks, right? They wanted to move on and try to win another national championship. But talk about that from your perspective as a player, what type of lessons you can learn from going through situations like Indiana and Miami.
Yeah, naturally, every single player, they've got certain things that they want to improve on in the offseason. But as a team, after what happened with Miami, Indiana, I feel like they just need to be a little tougher. So that's something that I know Mick Marotti, he's going over there. He's challenging those guys to be tougher, get stronger, fast, and everything like that. So I really want to see the offensive line and defensive line take strides compared to last year, just whether that's holding up in the run game or running the ball more. So I think the big thing coming into this year is just the toughness of the team, because I know Coach Day, that's one of his big mottos in the Woody Hayes. So if someone's questioning their toughness, they're just not going to like that.
The Buckeyes rely so much this year on I guess, year two leaps from guys, Julian Sayin, Isaiah West, players like that. And we kind of talked about it off the top of our show today. These guys spending time with Mickey Marotti, who you just mentioned, bulking up, and I think that plays into the toughness that you just talked about. Having gone through that yourself, like year one to year two with Mickey Marotti, can you tell us what that experience is like? Because I think everybody out there is familiar with those pictures that get posted year one to year two where a guy is just completely juiced up.
Yeah, those progression pictures?
Yes.
Oh, man, that only tells half the story. You don't know the work that a lot of those guys are putting in order to achieve that. And it's not just the lifting. You got Kayla Olson over there with nutrition. You're just shoveling food into your body 24/7. And, I mean, just the workouts, they've progressed over the years. Now they're in pure competition mode where whether it's, I don't know, like bench, pull-ups, sit-ups, sprints, everything's a competition. So it's winner or loser. And that just kind of excites people. Whenever you get up in the morning, you got a little bit more of an edge to you because you know you got to go compete against your brother. So that obviously has worked. You're seeing all these guys looking absolutely shredded, a bunch of Adonises out there. So I don't know why no one else adopts what Mick Marotti does, because I think he's the best in the entire nation.
One thing we've heard coming out of the building throughout the time here, Urban, Coach Day, whoever it's been, Coach Tress, and on, is there's always some type of focus on Michigan. And I'm sure you've seen, Steele, what they're doing up in Ann Arbor, and it seems like they're taking a different approach to the rivalry. So you know what that rivalry's all about. When you hear Bryce Underwood say, hey, that's just another game, when you hear Kyle Whittingham make the comments that he made about the rivalry, how did that make you feel?
Oh, that was a tough pill to swallow, and I've got all the respect in the world for Kyle Whittingham. He's an absolute legend over in Salt Lake City, but like there's a certain way you have to come across this game, and I just feel like they're not doing it. Now, I'm not going to blame Bryce Underwood because I feel like that's just his PR telling him to say that because he's been cocky for the last 4 or 5 months. But I don't know. I know we take it supremely seriously. Coach Day has just slowly been tinkering over the last 6 or 7 years trying to figure out how to approach this game. But the entire time, it's just full focus on Michigan and beating them. And I feel like they're not really taking that same, I guess, seriousness towards the game, which kind of concerns me. But I know they're still going to try to come beat us. But right now, I don't like the way they're looking at it right now.
Steele, I don't know how much you know about what's going on in the Ohio State wide receivers room, but Brock Boyd has come across my desk. I've heard a lot of good things about this freshman receiver out of the Woody right now. I've seen different things on social media, too. He seems like he's a favorite in that wide receiver room. You have any insight on Brock Boyd?
Everyone's saying he's a white boy with motion, man, and it seems like it from the clips I've seen. But, I mean, yeah, Brock Boyd, Chris Henry Jr., I've heard a lot about Devin McEwen. So I'm curious, in a room where you don't have just 3 standout first-round receivers, how are they going to be able to rotate those guys? Because you've got all the talent in the world in that position room. So how are you going to be able to get them on the field, get their catches? Because young guys like Brock Boyd and Chris Henry, you want to get them that experience of playing against Big Ten football, playing against Texas. So, yeah, Brock Boyd, he's a name to certainly watch out for, but that entire receiver room, I've heard nothing but crazy things this entire fall camp.
Former Buckeye Steel Chambers joining us here on Rothman and Ice. I wanted to ask you about Legend Bay. You play linebacker. You know what it's like to chase around all these elite athletes. He's a young guy that, as you know, played some quarterback in high school, but it sounds like he's going to maybe move around the offense and, you know, be able to maybe come out of the slot, out of the backfield, or whatever Coach Day and Coach Smith wants to do. So if and when he gets to that point this season, when he's out there, take us inside the mind of a defender having to worry about one guy moving around in offense.
Oh, that pissed me off, man. I mean, especially if we're like in a man-to-man defense, I got to worry with him in the backfield. Then all of a sudden he's in the slot. I'm checking out of that. I don't want to deal with that. So that's just going to be a complete headache for whoever's going against him. I just really hope that he's able to develop and learn that offense so he's able to get those packages where he could be in the slot. He could be at the running back position. Maybe they go 2 backs. Because having a weapon like that, it's really priceless, especially with an offense like Ohio State who's good in the run game and good in the pass game.
We'll get you out of here on this one. You like the call from Coach Day to move Senior Day up early in the season?
I like it more than most. I understand if you don't. But I know he definitely took all the seniors in. He asked if it was okay because that's just the kind of coach he is. So if all the seniors are okay with it, then I'm okay with it by default.
All right, I lied. I got one more for you. When you look back at your time here at Ohio State, what's a couple of your favorite moments, games, plays, like whatever? When you look back at the work that you put in here at one of the most prestigious universities in the sport when it comes to football, what are some of the memories that stick with you?
Oh, gosh. First one, kind of bittersweet, is the pick in the Peach Bowl against Georgia a few years back. If we were able to capture that, that'd be a clear number one. But I think the Rose Bowl, seeing some of my buddies, Jackson Smith-Jigba, he caught, 600 catching yards in that game. Tommy Eichenberg had 20 picks. I was on the field with all my roommates at the same time. That was plus being able to get that win, that was one of the coolest moments for me, I think, as a Buckeye.
You going to call JSN and tell him you got to take me out to dinner with this new contract you got?
Man, he should be doing more than that. Goodness gracious. What was it, like $150 million?
Yeah, it was insane, right? He cashed in, man. Good for him out there in Seattle. Steele, this was great. We appreciate your time. Make sure you guys go follow him on Twitter at SteelC22. We'll be hitting you up soon, man. Looking forward to that, and good luck the rest of the way. Thank you.
Love it, man. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you. There he goes, the former Buckeye Steel Chambers joining us here on Rothman and Ice. We'll hit the finish line of the show next with Tell the Truth. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Iconic summer moments deserve an iconic drink. Reach for Mountain Dew, an American original. From its beginnings in the foothills of Tennessee to your biggest summer yet. The refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew is the perfect companion to your American summer adventures. Enjoy the refreshing citrus kick of Mountain Dew. Tasting great since 48. Look for Mountain Dew in stores near you at mountaindew.com. That's mountaindew.com.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
Hey, it's Common Man. Everybody's talking about affordability these days, but the good news is you'll find hundreds of vehicles that fit your budget at GoGermain.com. Drive home in a new sedan starting at just $139 a month. New SUVs from only $189 a month, or a truck for as low as $329. Plus, choose from over 1,700 new and pre-owned vehicles, all priced under $30K, and it's only at GoGermain.com. And with their $1,000 price promise, no one's going to sell you a car for less. Go see my friends today. GoGermain.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Morgan & Morgan isn't just an injury firm. It's our family's life work. It's my husband, it's my sons, it's me. When we take a case, we see a family just like ours. $30 billion recovered is something I'm proud of. But what I'm really proud of are the families we stood beside. It's an honor to fight for you when you need our support the most. Morgan & Morgan, for the people and your family.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
After his first season in Cincinnati in 2000, Ken Griffey Jr. hoped to get off to a fast start in 2001, but he suffered a hamstring injury in spring training and didn't get his first hit until June 15th. But by August, he seemed fully healed. And on this date, August 20th, in a Monday night game at Synergy Field against the Cardinals, Jr. proved it with a game-winning walk-off hit. And it was an inside-the-park home run. The ball hit high off the center field fence and bounced away from the outfielders. On his mended hamstring, Jr. kicked it into high gear and raced around the bases to the roar of the crowd, beating the throw home. A game winner for Ken Griffey Jr. this August 20th, 2001. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Making ends meet matters for Ohio families. Congressman Mike Carey is working to help you keep more of what you earn and get the benefits you deserve. Mike Carey supported the Social Security Fairness Act, helping ensure public servants like teachers, firefighters, and police officers receive the full benefits they've earned. And Mike Carey is working to deliver tax relief for more Ohioans. Congressman Carey backed historic tax cuts for working families and seniors. That plan eliminated taxes on tips and overtime, expanded the child tax credit, and provided thousands in tax relief for Ohio seniors. Because whether you're working, raising a family, or planning for retirement, every dollar matters. Visit carey.house.gov to learn more or get help accessing benefits or dealing with a federal agency. Congressman Carey's office is here to help and fighting to help your family keep more of what you earn. Paid for with official funds from the office of Congressman Mike Carey.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick.
Saturday, we'll visit with Joe Murray about the Evans Caddy Scholarship and head to St. Louis for the PGA Tour playoffs with First Call's Bob Herrick.
Tita Green with Skip Mosick. Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan. All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
All right, TLC, take us to the crib, man. What do you got cooked up in truth today?
All right, I was trying to think of what could we possibly throw together for some sort of show bet, because I got this thing where I think Kyler Murray's terrible, and apparently everybody else in this show sees the vision with him in Minnesota, and he's going to reinvent himself. And
let me. I got a question for you because I thought about this during the break. Is this take on Kyler Murray rooted in a family member having some inside info on Kyler at Arizona?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because I know you got a family member that's coached out there.
No, here's what it is. I genuinely felt, as I feel like others did too, watching the Arizona Cardinals, I felt like Jacoby Brissett was better than Kyler Murray. And when your backup comes in and does better than you, then it's over. It's like, I don't think you have it anymore. And then he gets cut. And so it's
I just think the relationship at that point, the whole thing with the contract, the call, like all of that stuff, I just think the relationship was just cooked at that point. I think he can bounce back. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 guy this year. Can he be in that?
You said top 15.
I think he can get in that.
You said top
11
15,
to 15.
and
Right?
you said he's going to play all 17 games, which made me think. I'm like, could the show bet be as simple as I think Kyler Murray will get benched? Is it as simple as that? Do I need to throw in a competitor? Do I need to say Kyler Murray will get benched before Geno Smith does? And so we can kind of build it around that. Let's just start with the basic premise.
Okay.
Here's your question to start, and then we'll work around that. Who will be the first quarterback benched this season?
Kyler or Geno?
Open-ended. Anybody.
The first quarterback, Dylan.
Kirk Cousins. He's got the number 1 overall pick behind him.
I asked my friends in the group chat.
Before you give before you give their answer.
Everybody who's answered the same person, including myself.
All right, so they're all going Kyler.
No.
Oh.
I opened like literally all 32 quarterbacks. Who was the first one to get benched?
Okay, because you sent us a list.
I gave you a list to get your brain going.
I don't think Tua's got a bunch of runway in front of him. I don't. The only reason why I think he's
Penix hasn't even come back yet.
That's why. I think that's the only reason why he's kind of 10 toes down as a starter for now. I don't think that's going to be very long. So I'm thinking about Tua. I like your call on Cousins. Geno, I think, what is that? Where are they going to go to? Cade Klubnik?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe it's Deshaun.
It's possible.
But it's hard for me to look away from what Dylan just said.
I think it's Tua.
Yeah, that's where
when is that going to happen? Michael Penix might not even be ready until a month into the season.
Well, a month into the season might be just what the doctor ordered because...
You think if the Raiders start off super slow, they're not going to just go to Kirk Cousins or go to Fernando Mendoza, excuse me? You think they're really going to let him sit?
I think Kirk Cousins is a top 3 candidate. If the Falcons lose to the Steelers and the Panthers weeks 1 and 2, they are a legitimate 0-7 start candidate. Like, it's going to spiral for the Falcons. So whenever Penix is available, I think Tua, watch out. I think Kirk Cousins is probably second, and then I'd probably put Deshaun third.
I disagree with when it comes to Tua because I don't think they brought in Tua because Penix is hurt. I think they brought in Tua because they think Penix sucks.
I agree.
Like it's a new coaching staff, it's new management there,
and they can't trust his body.
Right. So I think if something happens to Tua, then you're going to see Michael Penix, or Tua is really, really bad. But I just don't see that happening. I've got Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett 2, and Deshaun Watson 3.
I like the Brissett call because they need to know what
Carson Beck's got.
They got to know.
Yeah.
They got to know.
All right. Who gets benched? Well, let's just do the hypothetical I threw out. Who gets benched first? Well, I mean, Ice already said he's playing all 17 games, so he doesn't think Kyler's getting benched, period. But who gets benched first, Kyler Murray or Geno Smith?
Kyler Murray. I don't think Geno Smith is going to get benched this year because they got nothing behind him.
You don't think they give Cade a look at all?
No.
You don't think even if it's like they have 3 wins in his last couple weeks in the year that they want to see
maybe week 16, 17, sure. But, I mean, that's Geno getting benched week 16, 17, and in my eyes, that's really not even getting benched.
That's fair.
Kyler for sure, because if Kyler stinks, they're going to go to JJ, and I also don't trust Kyler health-wise.
I think that, and this one's tough, because Geno and Malik Willis are in the exact same situation for me.
I think they're the 2 safest out of all the guys you sent us.
Only because the guys behind them were not high draft picks. So Geno Smith, his backup's Cade Klubnik, who was a 4th-round pick. So the organization doesn't think that highly of Cade Klubnik if they took him on day 3. Similarly with Malik Willis.
Quinn Ewers is the backup.
Quinn Ewers was a
They've already seen Ewers, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
They saw him beat Baker Mayfield last year.
That happened.
I don't like to speak about that because I like Baker Mayfield, but it did happen.
But he ain't their starter.
But here's the problem. Yeah. So here's the problem. At what point do the Dolphins just entirely throw? Because they're going to be the worst team in the AFC.
Oh, I think that's going to be the Colts this year.
The Colts?
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to. I think the Colts are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Worse than the Browns. Worse than the Dolphins. Worse than the Jets.
Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Well, here's the problem with that. They don't even have their own 1st-round pick.
Exactly. The Jets are going to have it.
They've got 3 next year.
It's going to set up perfectly because the Colts are going to get the number 1 overall pick, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, great, they can take Arch Manning."
Are the Jets going to get Arch and Jeremiah Smith?
That's
like my hottest take of the year. I think the Colts are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
That is a hot. Okay, so when does Daniel Jones get benched for Anthony Richardson?
I think
they'd skip over Anthony Richardson at this point.
I think if Daniel Jones is healthy, I still think he gets benched relatively
They have
early.
your boy out there?
I almost. Riley Leonard?
I think they'd give him more run before Anthony Richardson at this point.
They brought back Phillip Rivers rather than start Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard got leaped over by somebody who was coaching high school football.
Yeah, it seems like Anthony Richardson is cooked. All right, so your Colts take, is that rooted in Daniel Jones and not just that? Because the weapons look good to me.
I don't think the weapons look that good.
Really?
I don't think.
Okay, I'll give you this. The Alec Pierce thing, if I were a Colts fan, I'd be scared right now. The fact that he's not doing anything.
I don't know.
Michael Pittman's not on the team anymore.
Like, they signed Keenan Allen to replace Michael Pittman. Keenan Allen doesn't have it anymore. Tyler Warren I know people think Tyler Warren's going to be okay, but he just hurt his groin. I don't know. This team was horrible.
Yeah,
they were horrible when Daniel Jones went down. And
true.
you're trying to tell me Daniel Jones is going to play at MVP caliber again?
I just don't think that they're going to be worse than the Jets and maybe the Browns, like Dolphins. I don't think they're going to be worse than them. It's not going to shock me if they're flirting around with being in the basement, but I don't think they're going to be, they won't have the number 1 pick, but I don't think the Jets are going to have the number 1 pick thanks to the Colts.
We will see how it all plays out, but I think the Colts are going to struggle.
Ask the Cardinals and the Raiders what it's like having your tight end be your best player.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good, but
kind of worked out for New England for a while.
They had a quarterback named Tom Brady.
What you said. Your tight end was your best player. It worked out well for them. There's Tell the Truth. For today, Dylan, you're the best, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
You guys are the best. Love you guys. Let's do it again sometime.
Be safe. Be safe. You're going to Japan for 2 weeks.
Thank you.
2 weeks, man. Be safe out there. Have fun. Looking forward to hearing about that when you come back. Coming up next is Common Man and Timmy. Timmy's back in the building today. He will be with our guy, Brandon Beam. So you'll have Adam Rittenberg at 3:30. He'll join the show. You missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3, we'll be waiting there for you. We love you. Stay safe. We'll chop it up with all you guys tomorrow at high noon. We're Rothman and Ice right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio.